Hello, back again for a little while. Um, Open panel. Did I pin the link? No, I did not. Watch, I'm about to. There you go. Now it's an open panel. Hey, happy Sunday again. Um, it's the Panthers and the Falcons. Carolina Panthers, Atlanta Falcons. I guess I'm rooting for the Panthers, A, because they sound cooler than Falcons, and B, because there's a lot of people from North Carolina that come here. So I'm going to root for the Carolinas. Falcons. All right. I'm sure the news is not that different, but who knows? What? They arrested another man trying to assassinate. No evidence of assassination attempt after man. Oh, they arrested a man with weapons. Okay, CNN says federal officials say no evidence of assassination attempt. And the Guardian U.S. says armed man arrested near Trump's California rally was plotting to kill him. Is that not an assassination? We have two different narratives, opposite narratives right there on the Google headline. It was at the Coachella rally. Sovereign citizen. What? The sovereign citizens are trying to go after Trump now? With the unregistered firearm? Because they don't have to register them. That's licensing. They don't have to license things. They're sovereign. Third possible assassination. I'm trying to figure out if this is an assassination attempt or not. Because I'm literally seeing two completely opposite headlines. What is he bailed out already? Oh, the guy? So do you know if it was an assassination attempt or not? Because CNN's saying no. They're saying the federal officials are saying no. And then the Guardian U.S. is saying that it's a man with a plot to kill Trump. And here's a headline: The Times of India, third assassination attempt on Donald Trump, question mark. You know what? Why don't I go to the Hindustan Times? My new authoritative source. Donald Trump's third assassination attempt, and they put that in single quotes, thwarted by Riverside police. He possessed loaded firearms and a fake ID. May have prevented another. I guess they don't know. So why are they writing headlines? Vern Miller from Las Vegas. Oh Lord, was that somebody from the Panelverse? I know we have a lot of people from Vegas, especially the drama community. There was a guy from Vegas driving around last night. A black SUV. He was charged with possession of. Here's the Hindustan Times article. It really is the most detailed. So then it's like bad journalism meets decent journalism. Combat, where are you getting yours from? Maybe I can look at that source. And the sheriff, the Riverside County sheriff, told reporters, "I truly do believe we prevented another assassination attempt." So the sheriff himself is the one leading people to think. Let's see. And it may have been. Like, do we know that it's not? Oh, and he's going by the markings on Miller's license plate, which suggests that he might be part of the Sovereign Citizens Movement, a right-wing group that rejects the legitimacy of the U.S. government. Why don't they join up with the left, who rejects the legitimacy of America, too? However, Miller has denied any attempt to harm the former president. These accusations are complete bull beep. I'm an artist. I'm the last person that would cause any violence and harm to anybody. That was his quote. He was released on bail and is expected to appear in court in early January. That's it? This incident marks the third armed threat on Trump event. So when do we know whether it was an assassination attempt or not? This doesn't seem to be the time to be playing around with those categories. Oh, Lord. Why does can't maybe Trump should just get a YouTube channel and stop trying to go on the road. He'd be he'd be great, I think, for dealing with these trolls. Y'all could go troll Trump. I've invited him on my show several times. Trump, if you're out there, you want to come talk, I'll hook a brother up. And if you lose the election and you still want a platform, I could probably get you on a few times. In fact, I'm Trump. Why are you not part of the Panelverse already? It seems made for you. Right, yeah. I mean, I knew that in 2016, watching his campaign, watching him troll all the Hillary supporters. Yeah. But it's amazing y'all can recognize Trump as the troll that he is, but not as a certain other person. And y'all let yourself get trolled by that person all the time. But Trump, you can identify, has been trolling you for 40 years. All right, all right, all right. Let's see who's paneling up today. Oh, Spike is also. He wasn't on my list when I looked earlier. He's doing his looks like maybe his radio, his music show. Um, Zat is still going. Wow, he was going when I left earlier. Good for him. Birdo's on his show. He's in. He's going. He's almost 4 hours in. Wow, that's pretty good. Okay, well that's all the panel verse I see. Bye, Brock. Don't come back. In fact, let me put All right, let's see. Well, I guess all trolling is circular away because if you troll back, I know that the left seems to take the bait and troll back. So is that circular trolling? Maybe. Um. Oh, I had a few AI chats going. I started using GPT more. I just get more detailed answers, kind of like the Hindustan Times of AI language learning models. Oh yeah, okay. Here, I do have something I want to talk about. Positive drama. Fact. Hang on, let me. Yeah. Um. Right. LLM. Um. I was talking earlier with a friend, and he brought up the idea of positive drama. If there's going to be drama, are there ways to make it positive? And I thought, well, that's exactly what I've been trying to do with it. Let me see if the AI has anything to say. And oh my God, would you believe? It gave me 5 different suggestions on ways drama can have positive effects. And I've been trying to do every single one of these. That's like when I first started to grow my channel. I asked the AI, like, what are your suggestions for helping to grow a channel? It gave me like a list of 10, 15 things. And I was doing every one of them. Every single thing it suggested, I was already doing on my own. I had come up with myself. And so I matched the AI almost perfectly. Positive drama refers to situations or interactions that involve intense emotions or conflicts, yes, but ultimately lead to growth, connection, or meaningful change. I would say and meaningful change. Yes, yes, that is what we are trying to do here. If there's going to be drama, if there's going to be intense emotions, if there's going to be conflicts, L- let it lead to growth, connection, or meaningful change. Like, who would not choose that? Well, I know who would not choose that. More people than I realize. While drama usually carries a negative connotation, implying unnecessary conflict or emotional upheaval, this AI is good. It can also have constructive elements if it results in personal development, increased understanding, or a deeper sense of community. That's why I do that, like educational drama, where we try to break it down and learn from it. Mike, I don't even know if that's the real you, but probably not today. I think I'm going to do this chill, drama-free panel and just talk about drama. Um, Here are the ways. Emotional expression. Drama can provide an outlet for emotions that people may otherwise suppress. When handled constructively, expressing feelings like frustration or sadness can be cathartic and healing. I believe, maybe you can, hey, Ladybug, maybe you can show me evidence to the contrary. I would love to find it. I believe that this may be the only place in the entire YouTube universe, if not the universe itself, other than maybe Louisiana, where someone can come on a panel and have whatever emotion they want to have at whatever level of intensity they want to have it and not be stigmatized or interfered with. Emotions to me are a form of cognition. I have no idea why people if somebody was thinking about a problem, like they're faced with the problem and they're trying to think through the problem, would somebody tell them, calm your thinking down, like don't think so intensely, think lower, whatever. Emotions are the same way to me because thoughts come out of emotion, and if you don't allow the full range and depth of that emotion, you're not going to get the thoughts that are embedded in it. That are like emotions come from the sensation, emotion, thought. That's the chain. And so you don't get the full thoughts if you don't get the full emotion. And so to me it's cognition. The thoughts and the emotions are all related, and one comes from and feeds into the other. So it's a mystery to me why people grew up thinking they had to restrain, suppress their emotions. They must have had very strict parents. So this is the one place. Like if this channel could offer no other thing, it could offer a space where somebody could come and experience an emotion without being harassed or hassled. At least by me, and you know me, I will ferociously take care of anybody that's attempting to thwart somebody else's emotion or emotional process. I mean, I've never even heard of that till I moved up here to Washington State. Like, do you think people in New Orleans and Las Vegas, where I've spent most of my life, those two cities, and Louisiana, calm their emotions down? No. Why would you think somebody from New Orleans would be able to make sense of something like calm down? So this is a place where you can come and turn it up. You don't have to calm down. I don't know what you're talking about, Mike, but I'm really have a low tolerance for trolling tonight, so I'm going to put you in timeout. Don't get banned. Or get banned. I don't care anymore. Conflict resolution. Drama often stems from conflict, and resolving conflicts in a healthy way can lead to stronger relationships. I've done entire streams on conflict resolution and transformational conflict. Learning how to navigate disagreements can foster better communication, mutual understanding. Yeah, and we have drama court for this. This is what this is what drama court is set up to attempt to do. We've never actually put it to the test, but we've resolved other conflicts on here before. Number 3, a catalyst for change. Intense situations often push people out of their comfort zones, making them confront issues they've been avoiding. This can lead to personal growth, new insights, or needed life changes. Yes, also, I've been trying to do that here. Bonding through shared experiences. Drama in group settings, when navigated carefully, can create a sense of solidarity. Going through tough times together can bond people as long as the drama is resolved in a healthy way. I think it can bond people in very unhealthy ways, as we've seen here too. I have a whole bunch of people crying to me now that, oh, I'm not the one. that's part of that group that's doing all this stuff to you, doxing you and making all these violent videos. I'm not part of them. I'm not associated. Well, you know what? To the rest of the world, you all look like one entity. You all look like a single hate machine bonded together by drama. And so it's good luck trying to distance yourself from those gutter trolls now that you're all bonded together through your hatred. And number 5, learning opportunities. Drama can highlight dysfunctions or unmet needs, prompting reflection. For example, if a recurring issue causes drama in a relationship, it may point to a deeper problem that needs attention. I try to do all of this here. Drama becomes beneficial when approached with mindfulness and intention rather than being allowed to spiral out of control or lead to toxic behaviors. Yes, yes, this is what I think I could offer. Creating spaces where people can express emotions, yes, and resolve conflicts constructively. And I provide the space and a little bit of the facilitation skills to make this happen. It's not a guarantee. Some people just do not want to resolve a conflict. Like the drama is what keeps them going. So all I can do is attempt to be of help. All could be an example of how to use drama positively, especially in environments focused on mental health like the community I am building. So positive drama, that's what we're going for here. And drama sanctuary. Hey Bart, Mr. B, Kane. So having said all that, it is now open panel. If anybody wants to come up and do some positive drama or some games. We can also get some games going. If we get enough people, like, I don't know, 6 or 7, we could play Avalon. It's really not fun with less than that. And if somebody has a real Monopoly board, we could play Powers Monopoly. Otherwise, I'm going to sit up here and monologue for a bit until a panel gets going. And then I might go start a movie. I'm thinking of What's Eating Gilbert Grape next. It's just a really good Gen X movie from that time period, 1993. Oh, really, Mr. B? Do you remember where, or do you think you could get me a link or tell me what to search for? I'll start with positive side of gossip. Hey, Joe.
Hey, how are you in tonight, Jeff?
Oh, I'm pretty good. I got my nap, but I'm a little sleepy. Let's see, starting tomorrow, no
Yeah, I'd be curious
FTC.
for the positive side of gossip.
Wait, what's Jeremy? What's going on? What what you talking about here, Willis? Let's see. I'm seeing what is positive gossip. Sever. You know what? Let me ask the AI because gossip's another thing I'm good at.
Huh. Gossip, gossip.
Okay. Positive gossip refers to the sharing of information about others in a way that highlights their strengths, achievements, or good qualities, rather than focus on negative traits. Well, that's not. Who gossips about the good stuff? You're trying to like give the community information to.
I think positive gossip would be like if let's say um, people who are rooting for someone like on the dating scene, they're like, "Did you hear that someone, that so and so finally like got a date with this chick or finally got laid? Oh, good for him." I think that might be an example.
Oh yeah, but that gossip doesn't nearly have the shelf life that the negative gossip has. Because gossip
Yeah.
is information, and it's information designed to protect, maintain, develop, etc. And so it's kind of the glue and the grease.
Hmm.
Let me see. Positive. It can strengthen relationships, encourage encouragement and motivation, build community, promoting role models, sharing stories of people doing good things or overcoming challenge. I don't consider that gossip though. I mean that all has a place for sure. I just wouldn't call it gossip and reinforcing social norms. Negative gossip can enforce social norms by calling out undesirable behavior, and positive gossip reinforces norms by highlighting and encouraging behaviors. Yeah, I just don't think of any of this as gossip. I guess you could call it positive gossip. All right, Mr. B, you can have one for a few seconds. All right, here you go. Post away.
Feels the power now.
Gossip, yes. The most powerful force in the universe is gossip.
I was gonna say wrench, but gossip is also powerful.
It's a saying from somewhere in my Gen X brain. So what's up with your what'd you do today?
Um, so I uh worked on an article this morning while I was in Moose's stream for a bit. Of course, you were there when I was there too. But I was actually
You were doing
part
an
of why I
article
was
while like in the middle of the drama stream. You're sitting there
yeah
quietly working on an article.
I was pecking away at it and got it
That's
finished a bit
positive
after
drama.
that. I guess so. But yeah, if I seemed quiet for a bit, some of it was just because I stopped talking for a bit to pay attention to what I was writing and got that published. And then you did another stream earlier, hopefully hoping for some games, but I didn't pop into that one because I actually got coffee with someone I had met through one of the local campus groups, and he and I brainstormed on election predictions,
Oh,
and we both are leaning toward thinking that Trump will win the 2024 election.
not Kamala. I think it's going to be Kamala.
I think it's going to be Trump, and so does he.
Well, we'll
And
see.
what's interesting
That's
is he's I would say he's also he's not a Democrat. He's not voting for the Democrats, but he is a leftist. So he's more of the I'm not going to reward the Democrats with their choice of a nominee type of leftist. But also refreshingly not woke. So a good conversation. And um,
all right. Here's the link. I guess this is it, Mr. B. You can tell me.
yeah, we talked about some interesting trends that are showing themselves in the election. Like he noted that Trump is actually getting he's polling better with Muslim voters than Democrats. Um, and another thing I found earlier today is that for the first time since 1984, more voters polled self-identify as Republican than Democrat.
Since '94.
1984, the Reagan second
Dang.
election. So
That's the
it's
one where the
slightly
whole
favoring
country
them.
turned red,
Yeah, it's slightly
except
favoring
for Minnesota, D.C. I think.
Republicans. It's just plus one, right? That's not much. It's just plus one. But uh, they compared it to 2016 and 2020. Um, so this is nationwide, right? This is a nationwide average. But when the same polls done in 2016 and 2020 happened, 2016 was +3 for the Democrats and +8 for Biden. So uh, Trump still wins with a +3 Democrats, and nationwide it's +1. So we both agreed that that probably suggests something about like the undercurrent in the country that will probably prove important in the battleground states.
That's what
And
caught everyone by surprise the first time. Why they think Russia interfered because they we were
Mhm.
we didn't foresee those undercurrents. And I know that in 2020, like all the demographics lean toward Trump, except for white women and college-educated white men.
Yeah, and we talked about how Kamala did a bit better immediately after her debate with Trump, but slowly that gap closed in the intervening weeks, and it's leaning toward Trump again.
I
Um,
just can't believe that many Americans want their free speech restricted. Like just that's so ingrained in us. I mean, if you had a president running on taking away guns, it would probably be the same thing. So I can't believe running on this. We need to police the internet and control your speech is a winning platform, a winning position
Yeah,
in
it's
America.
surprising. I never thought I would hear that. In 2016, it was really just Trump saying the shocking things. um,
You're right.
and
Trump's
he
normal now. He's been
I know.
normalized.
And we talked about how Trump's team this time is very different because one thing that adds to his appeal that was not present the first time is that he is bringing on board these ex-Democrats who kind of validate a lot of the concerns people had about the DNC on the progressive side of the party in 2016. So basically, people who are on the losing Bernie side about
Oh, they went over to
the
Trump.
corporate capture of the party, right? Like so, Tulsi, RFK Jr., Elon have all been critical of this side of the party for different reasons. They each have their own origin story in which they have encountered it. Um, and I pointed out to him that RFK Jr. is kooky in some ways, and so people will pounce on him for his stance on vaccines. But for the most part, he's generally correct about, let's say, the medical industrial complex and how it has, created this marriage between corporations, like Pfizer, and regulatory bodies in which they just have a pipeline to get products set up and get people, on medicine they probably don't need, but
You
it's a
think?
setup
Wait,
by
you
the
think big
companies.
pharma's wasting their resources creating medicine that people don't need instead of creating actual medicine that they could profit from because it would have long-term benefit to people? That
Yeah,
seems
I
that
think
seems that seems like bad business.
well,
Let's create fake products instead
not if
of.
you well, so they might actually do things, but then it's the question of, is there just a better alternative? Like, so the semaglutides, for example, those weight loss drugs. The easier alternative is just eat less. Right?
Well, yeah, but this is
It's
America.
Yeah, I know,
Like
but
they're
it's
they're
just sort of like,
catering to the American psyche. I don't think they're being evil. Do you not want big pharma? Like, should we not have a pharmaceutical industry?
I think it's a thing where they are working. They have their alliances with the government and lawmakers to get things approved and also get it supported by federal funding, so that basically they can continue to make money and not necessarily products that are needed. Like, uh, I'm very much on the side that you know uh, human bodies have been around for a long time, and people have been able to live well into old age without all these medical supplements, basically, for the most part, if they just had a healthy lifestyle.
So we don't need big pharma. Just live healthy. Like that's a fringe opinion. You know, big pharma is not going away. Like
No, I don't
the
think it's going
drugs are
away.
part of the technology that we've cyborg adapted ourselves to. They're
No,
not going
I don't
anywhere.
think I don't think it's going away. But to me, it's just like there's something really amiss when the solution to the obesity epidemic is to get people on weight loss pills
But I
rather
feel
than
like
just
we've
better
strayed
dieting.
from the corrupt big pharma industrial complex or whatever. Like, because now we're talking about these little niche things like weight loss pills. I'm talking about just the need in the medical industry in general for medication, for medicine. And big pharma seems to be the ones best positioned to create the new drugs that everybody needs.
I
And
mean,
I'm
I don't
talking
think
things like cancer drugs and drugs for serious illness and conditions. Like we need somebody creating
Well, I
solutions to
agree
those
with that, but
problems.
I don't think there's a line between what are the drugs we need and what about if just people just eat less and we don't have a drug to do that, and then try to get the
There's not a
government
line
to
between
help
somebody
enable
that
it.
has cancer and somebody that's normally healthy
I
and
think
might
I
need
think with
like an
the
infusion.
yeah, I think with the relationship between big pharma and regulators and lawmakers, there's not a line. It's just if they can get a stamp of approval on it, they're going to sell it because why wouldn't they? It's a return on investment for them.
Well, you think they're selling snake oil? Like how much snake oil is out there versus
Oh,
legitimate medicine?
I don't think it's necessarily snake oil, right? So the semaglutides, from
I,
my understanding, they do work, but like, do we need? Are
But
they
that
really
doesn't
something
sound
we
like
should be spending
evil and
money on?
corruption. If they're making extra drugs that most people might not need and they could do, like could just eat better, but they have the choice to do this other, that doesn't sound like evil corruption. It doesn't sound like they're creating poison to like sedate the masses so that they could. I'm trying to understand where the specter, the boogeyman of big pharma, comes from. Because when you
Well, I
say
think
pharma industrial complex, it connotes this scheme that like something it's something to be scared of.
Well, I think the scam here is that if it gets approved for like Medicare or Medicaid, then the taxpayer is going to be footing some of that bill. And the question is, if they could just eat less, is that something that needs to be added to
But
like
that's a
this?
moral issue. It's not a it. It feels like Mott and Bailey or Strawman. You're setting up this big, scary pharmaceutical industrial complex, and the thing to actually worry about is there might be some drugs that get created that people could replace by just a healthy lifestyle. That doesn't seem. I'm not connecting that to the big, scary phantom. If that is that the biggest fear of big pharma, that they might create drugs that people could substitute for healthy lifestyles? Is that the worst, the nightmare scenario that you have in your head when you're talking about big pharma?
I don't know if I call it a nightmare scenario, but I mean, I don't approve of it personally, and I
Right.
think
Well,
a lot of other voters do, and that's the appeal of RFK. Not to catastrophize it too much, but I just there's something I generally find a bit crooked and undesirable about it, in that I think we could tone it down with the freebies
but
that
that
big
doesn't
pharma
make
seems
them
to get.
evil or something to mistrust or corruption or like that. Not laws. Yes, this is true. My partner died of one of these rare diseases, and there was hardly any research or treatments for it because it was so rare that it wasn't worth spending the money on it. This is true.
Let me see what Mr. B's saying. Are you familiar with colchicine, one of the oldest known medications? Big Pharma colluded with the FDA to do a study on it in exchange for exclusive distribution rights. I was not familiar
Okay,
with
but is
that.
that legal under our current law? If not, then prosecute them.
Well, the thing is, like,
Purdue
if there's a
Pharma Lab
relation,
and Peel Mills.
right?
Like, is
If
this
there's a
positive drama or is this drama toward pharmaceutical companies? Is it
um,
it seems conspiracy. Like, what are y'all worried that these pharmacy companies are going to do or are doing,
well, so
other than creating products that people don't need?
I'm just pointing out. You mentioned like, well, wouldn't that be illegal? But if they have a relationship
Then
with the
that's called
lawmakers,
corruption, and we
then
have
they can decide
laws
what's
to.
legal,
Don't we have laws
right?
to handle corruption? They just need to be enforced.
Well,
But
I mean,
all
people
of
make
this
pretty.
seems like speculation. There's nothing. I don't hear anything concrete where I should panic about the pharmaceutical industrial
Well,
complex.
so I mean, there are campaign contributions and then
Right, and he
partisan
got put in
PACs,
jail,
right?
didn't he? Like this, what I'm talking about. This is was an aberration. It wasn't
Well,
the norm. Are you
well,
saying Martin
Shkreli
Shkreli is
got
the
put.
norm?
Martin Shkreli got put in jail for something unrelated to that. I forget what it was, but it was not. It was not the controversial price hike. It was something else that he did, and people were like, "Ha ha ha!" It serves him right because they were mad about the price hike. Um, but um, it is legal for a lot of companies to, um, uh, do political spending and campaign contributions. I believe that over the past decade, it has shifted from some industries have shifted from primarily contributing to Republicans to Democrats, and I believe big pharma is one of those. Tech as well. I think like
Right,
fossil
all
fuels
of
are
them
still
do.
something
That's
that lean
probably smart
Republican,
business to contribute to
and so
politicians.
that is considered legal, right? There are some more direct forms of monetary support that are illegal, that would be considered, I guess, too directly corrupt. So it kind of depends on what you want to define as corruption.
Right, and the
Um,
things that you're defining as corruption, that's what you do. It seem very minor to me. They don't have me wanting to make a sign and go protest big pharma.
oh, I mean,
Bart
I don't want to make
Robinson,
a sign of
this
protest
makes the most
anything.
sense so far. We do need them. Yes, they are powerful, just like the tech companies and the oil companies, all the other companies. That's what corporation industries get powerful, and we have antitrust and monopoly laws and all that kind of stuff. Yes, they influence politicians. The medical industry, yes, of course they're going to influence the medical industry. I'm not seeing anything that's raising red flags in my brain, and I'm probably just dumb, or not as paranoid. Let's see. I don't know. I like knowing that there's skilled people out there that have the ability to create medicine that can help people when they need it.
Well, I think that it's a different prospect if they didn't have this monetary relationship with who the lawmakers are and who the
But
regulators are for
what
campaigning
industry
contributions.
doesn't have lobbyists that have relationships with
Well, I mean,
politicians? Like you,
I
it's like you're living in a fantasy world. What
well,
world is that not going to happen?
so I don't think any industry likes that. I'm talking about RFK Jr. specifically because
Oh,
that's
okay.
been a focus, right? So it's not like I'm singling out like I if it were me, let's say remember I think I said before if I were emperor of the United States, here's what I would do. So let's say I'm emperor, I'm gonna make some decrees, and then I will step down. As soon as I step down, we're democracy again. But like I basically decide what the new constitution is. One thing I would put in is like no money in politics whatsoever, just none
Right
of it.
now, you're right. We're in
You
Plato's
know,
Republic instead of like looking at actual concrete, like the state of
right?
things. I'm trying to understand
Yeah,
things as they are today, and you're like my ideal society. I would do this, and I think that's where
yeah.
the disconnect is.
Well, so but I also want to clarify that while I do respect some of this, like what RFK Jr. is trying to do. I'm also just bringing up in the context of this is what's like appealing to folks, and what he and I had noted. Like a lot of people are responding to the kind of things RFK Jr.
So
talks about.
it's a narrative that people are responding, that's resonating with
Yeah,
people.
so I
Okay.
was doing narrative connection. Like there was
Okay.
this
Yeah, and
narrative
I one
about
thing I try to do here is like s- get to what's beyond the narrative, like get to what's actually happening instead of.
yeah. So there was this narrative in like the 2016 primary that Hillary Clinton represented the corporate side of the Democratic Party, and Bernie represented the more progressive and grassroots side of it, and the progressive grassroots side of it lost. And so you see some of that in the fact that you look at who is supporting Trump now. Tulsi, you might remember, was the DNC vice chairman of so the Democratic Party's vice chairman
Oh no, I didn't know.
in 2016, and she would like led the protest against what the DNC had done to sandbag Bernie in the primary process, and do what they were technically allowed to do to help Hillary win. And so she went from that and seeing as sort of like a potential uh, progressive mantle bearer after Bernie to giving up on the Democrats and joining Trump, right? So some people who probably felt similarly in the course of the 2016 Democratic primary, you know, might be following suit. With RFK Jr., you know, um, as a Kennedy, he sort of represents this older Democratic Party going back more to the pre-Reagan New Deal coalition that existed for a period of about 30 years. And so there's an interesting set of alliances that are coming up in Trump's second term. JD Vance, we also, so this friend of mine and I also talked about JD Vance and how he is a very interesting running mate because um, this is a guy for context, this is a guy I know from a campus organization that was initially started by the ROTC programs there. So all the branches like Army, Air Force, Navy, um, but they allowed people outside of ROTC to become part of it. And he himself is not a cadet, but he's friends with the president of it, and so that's how he and I met. Is we both started going to these meetings, and we kind of know like I basically said to him because I knew he would know what I was talking about by this point. But I said I could see myself if um, if I were an ROTC cadet again and JD Vance were one of the cadre. So the cadre would be like the sergeants or the officers who are actually still in the army that are running the ROTC program to mentor and train the cadets. Um, that if he were a cadre member, he would be extremely popular with cadets. Just the way his personality is, the way he speaks, the way he is like firm without looking like an asshole, and that he did well in the vice presidential debate because of that. So he's got that going as well, um, and so it's an interesting thing. And we think that these forces sort of working together, these advantages Trump has now that he did not have the first time, um, could be the cause for another
Well,
upset.
I also saw a lot of Republicans that are coming out endorsing Kamala, saying that they're going to vote for
Yeah.
Kamala.
Yeah, but he also talked about how that it doesn't seem to reflect as well for because like I even said to him like Dick Cheney was one of the Republicans
Right.
that
Yeah.
endorsed Kamala, and I got involved in the Democratic Party starting in 2006 specifically because I was upset about the Iraq War. And Dick Cheney was, he had a direct hand in that. So I don't want to hear that Dick Cheney says Kamala would be good. That says to me, oh,
Right.
he's absolutely wrong. So even if I were going to vote, which I'm still not, it's like, alarms going off. This is the guy that got you, like, started this 14-year period of your life where you were active in politics. Yeah, fuck that. Um, it's her endorsements. It's not like she's got a Colin Powell type Republican endorsing her, someone who I think would be much more credible. Um, it's that where and so she's getting like a lot of like neocon Republicans backing her, um, whereas uh, Trump is getting ex Democrats who are also rejecting the establishment and forming sort of a unity populist ticket in response to that. And I think that that's something that's going to be different this time, even in the first term when he was running against Hillary. I mean, he was kind of an outsider populist response to Hillary, but I think he has more of a foundation for that. Oh,
We have
I'm
less than
not
a month
complaining.
too.
I'm not complaining about who's in office. So to me, it's just it is what it is, and it's okay
He's
if
gonna complain anyway. No matter who's in office, he's gonna complain. So
I'll be honest if I don't approve or something, but I'm actually going to say it's okay if things go awry and America falls apart at the seams. And if it weren't okay, then this stuff wouldn't be happening.
it's not okay with me. I want to try to hold on to the America that I know and love as long as I can. So I'm gonna certainly try to stop it from collapsing.
But I'm trying to catch up with the chat here a bit. Let me see. Hmm. Cost $2 to make insulin. Aspirin was a brand new medication. FDA would require a study and price would skyrocket. Tulsi was a stooge. The primaries were flooded with many parameters to water down Bernie. All the other candidates, including Tulsi, codified their support for the establishment Democrats. This is Warren Yang. All proxies to split the progressive movement and align with Biden. Well, I don't know if that's fair to Warren or Yang. I mean, after Bernie lost in 2016, there was a real question of who was the right person to start leading the progressive movement. So, I mean, if I'm going to say that like Kamala had to win a primary fair and square, Bernie has to be able to do that. And if other progressives show up and doom him, then he needs to think about what he's bringing to the table. I mean, it would be better if they could be more concentrated, but it's just how it works. So like the fact that it was Biden could not have his base of support divided says something about Biden, perhaps. Let's see. An accelerationist?
Because you said you
What's
don't
an
care if it falls apart.
that's an accelerationist?
Well, no, he's that's not Law's take on it. It's
Okay.
I guess it's a passive form of if you're not going to try to stop it from falling apart.
I
You're
think an
like a passive
accelerationist would be like
accelerationist.
to me it sounds like somebody who would intentionally try to like vote for bad candidates because they know they would it would accelerate the downfall of the country. Um, which like there are some people like there have been Marxist movements where they intentionally have like supported certain capitalist figures because they believe it will hasten the failure of capitalism and the emergence of a Marxist society. I know that's happened at some points in history. I can't think of any right off the bat. Um,
Well, we will find out just around the corner.
but also like Nahlas already knows that I'm not going to vote, so I don't know how this is news to him. Maybe he wasn't paying attention. But
Well, he might have known you're not voting. I don't know if he knew that you were you were okay with America collapsing. I didn't know that either.
Well, I have to be
So
okay with
that's not
America
an
collapsing
assumption
though
I
if I'm not
normally make
voting.
of people just because they don't vote.
I mean, I have to be okay with that, otherwise I would probably vote.
Yes, he is the most political apolitical person I've met. The most political
Well,
non-voter I've
one,
met.
we often talk about it, and the group I'm involved in was talking about it, so it's me talking about my day. Two, I went from being active in politics for 14 straight years, which didn't really end until
Were you
years
voting
ago.
then, like during those 14
Oh
years?
yeah, I
Oh,
voted as
okay.
soon
So
as
this
I
is a
could,
recent thing.
and yeah, this is a fairly recent thing. So it's like, um, you know, and I will say, the election is still interesting, right? It's like watching a TV show that's really interesting, and you're talking about
Oh,
it.
I
So there's
find it
still
the
that side of it.
opposite.
Like there's some entertainment value to it. Um, and to that extent, it's always something to talk about. In terms of, but that's almost treating like that's like separating real news events from reality as though it's like this fictional TV show, right? It's almost like experiencing it that way. When we get to the actual real events, right, it's almost saying like, here's how I want the show to end versus like, what really happens, and that might not be immediately obvious unless I specify. Um, but no, I've made peace with um, the fact that things can continue to get worse politically for America, and I'm not going to complain about it anymore. I'm just going to let it happen, and it is what it is.
I don't. I think it's in many ways things have almost never been better. Like I've been having the best last 5 years. That probably.
So some things are better, but and they're better in things that are like almost like completely just parallel to all this. Like there's another dimension you can step into that things are better. It's weird like how the internet
But
has just
even when
made
I'm
things
not in
work
this
like this.
dimension, they're other than like needing having an income, they're not that bad in real life either. Like I am probably I don't know why I'm the only non-doomer. I'm not seeing all this doom and gloom that everybody's seeing. When I look out my window, it's not raining.
Not less as the mushrooms are calling out for him a little bit now.
Yeah, I think you may have answered the call already, not lost. I'm not sure what you're saying. The last few
I think
sentences.
I think Not Lost wants me to do mushrooms, and then after I do mushrooms, I'll become a card carrying Democrat again. I don't know. Okay. Looking at what other folks are saying. Chuck noted that he was checking the polls. Harris starting to slip in support. Yeah, I think she's losing some of the momentum that she had coming out of the debate, and I think actually as time passed the Trump Harris debate, um, I'll be able to think in the abstract better.
Well, not laws. One of my frustrations is he's thinking too abstractly. He's not grounding it. He's thinking idealistically and not concretely. I don't want
Oh,
him to think more abstract.
that Not Lost thinks I struggle to think in the abstract. If I've ever been mispegged, um, I mean that was worse than Mike opining that I might be bi-curious. I mean, talk about missing the target.
Yeah, I think gay is still a thing people use to try to tease and shame other people. It surprises me that that's
I
still a thing grown adults are doing with each other.
I think Mike was trying to be funny and he was attempting to see what would stick. That's what I
Uh,
think that was.
the boy is pretty concretely. Well, not to me, because I had to keep bringing him down to earth.
Hey, okay. Huh.
I'm just very low energy today. Maybe
Even though you're wearing a high energy shirt,
I know. Maybe I didn't fully finish my nap or something.
could be the case. Yeah,
Hey, have
not
y'all
that.
seen Paris Hilton's new video? Her new song, ADHD. Here, I'll post the link.
Oh, I didn't know she made a song. Okay.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, not lost. I think what may
She's
be
trying to.
throwing you is that I have done the full lap from going into high abstract where I was stuck in my own head, and I'm like, "Ugh, why don't other ordinary people vote like I do?" To coming back around and keeping life simple again and realizing that I overcomplicated things. All right. So if I'm not as abstract as that, it's because I know that going abstract isn't always helpful or gets to real results.
I mean, I can do both. I can be as I could do the abstract, but if it's not tied to anything practical, it's not gonna. I'm not gonna be able to stay with it. If there's not a point to it, I'm not gonna be interested in it for long.
Well, yeah, and that's a problem I think with a lot of like people on the left is that they get too abstract, they get too much in their own heads, and then they wonder like, why don't like conservatives get this or swing voters get this? And it's like they're abstract to the point of being in a fantasy land after a certain point. And
Yeah, I
um,
think that is one of the issues they've abstracted, and plus we hey shameless. Plus we live in a more abstracted world. Like digital life is disembodied and abstracted from real life.
mhm, yeah, and
There's
not
becoming less and less of a real world to even be in touch with anymore.
yeah, and not laws. I would just point out like some things are just not suited to being abstract. There are times where you'll just be abstract for the sake of it, and the simplest model that you can do um, is the one that you want. It's going to be the most actionable and useful. Like if you cross the line into being too complex, it suddenly becomes terrible.
Cross the
It
line where?
becomes so if you imagine like a model of understanding something, if you cross the line into being too complex, it quickly becomes very
But
unhelpful.
that's also subject because it's complex for some individuals, but
Mhm.
not for others. So it's a relative complexity.
Yeah.
I can get complex and I can get abstract. It just has to have something attached to it that exists in the real world. Otherwise, it's just sci-fi. It's just like fantasy masturbation.
Hmm.
I've never been interested in that. Like just letting my imagination wander. If there's not something external in the real world to aim it at, I get no pleasure in just idle imagining. Mr. B, what happened?
Comet photography. There was comet photography. Do you have clouds now? I mean, has Milton finally passed that you can see the stars again? Oh,
Yeah,
Chuck, imagine
kind of.
shutting
That
your
is a
eyes.
dream. It's mythologizing is what it is. In a way, mythologizing is closer to a dream, probably than any kind of correspondent reality.
Rendering or the photography itself? What if Mr. B had tremors in his hands while he's trying to hold the camera? He's like, "Ugh," and it messed up the capture. Would that be a problem with the photography itself? Maybe.
Oh,
Comet too low on
so
horizon, trees in the way. Hmm. So there was a conspiracy to make the sky sabotage you.
not laws. It's not a conspiracy. I've done like 10 streams of me showing it in the government. I pull up the government websites, I go to their policies, and I show the DEI stuff in the government. White supremacy, white domination, white privilege. That's all in Washington State. The federal government has others. You have a whole playlist of it. This is
But
not a
then, like,
conspiracy. The shit is actually happening. I did the story about the firefighter. They had to cancel the DEI trainings here in Seattle because the firefighters were tired of being called racist when they're the ones answering all the 911 calls.
yeah, and didn't like Brooke talk about that too? Like, and
Yeah,
how
Brooke went through four, through was it three or four? trainings where they separate the one training. They had the Hispanic people in one room, the black people, the Asian people, and the white people all in separate rooms teaching them different things.
Yeah, they got race-based diversity training, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, they call them white caucuses and black caucuses. So not Laz. His speaking of abstract, he is in his own abstract reality.
It must be nice, in
I
the
think
Patriot
he's
Canada.
just clueless, out of touch, or willfully ignorant that this stuff is going on, or he doesn't think
Yeah.
it's a problem and he agrees with it.
Yeah, I think that's actually more likely is that he is okay with it. Uh, like, because it's just it's it's like right in front of us. I don't know how you could say, "Oh, this stuff doesn't happen." It's like I think is that it does happen, and they see someone get fired for something he didn't even say, and they go, "Ah, no big deal. It's for the greater good. The
Yeah.
bigger picture is what's important."
Well, as we just explained, it's not hyperbolic propaganda because we gave
So he's
examples of it
basically saying
actually
what I
happened.
just
That's
said.
not propaganda. Brooks' training was not propaganda. Brooke was not on here uh, when she was describing her training, engaging in propaganda.
Yeah, but I think Notlaws basically just confirmed what I said. Is that he thinks if some people get fired or alienated or something for things they didn't even say or do, if it's part of this greater movement that gets rid of racism and ultimately restores things for the victims of racism, then it's acceptable.
Racism is a mental attitude. You can't get rid of
Sure,
something
you can.
mental in the mind. How are you going to
No, you can.
eradicate a
You
thought
get a
or an
drill
idea?
and you put it up to their head and you
The
just
cage of
aim
the rat
carefully and go,
cage.
zzz, and then you'll get rid of the thought. See, Shameless says she only has a view of half the sky in most cases. Is there anywhere higher to be able to set it up if it's projected to be set up? You can only see half the sky? Are you like in like some kind of dome or something? Look at all this flirting between Shameless and Kane. And you said
Shameless and
I was
Kanye?
flirting. Yeah, look.
Is it Shameless a married lady?
Kane said, Shameless, I was yours first. I'm sure she can share,
Hey, Spike.
right? Not even I am that forward.
Man, there's our kind of people out tonight.
Yeah, that's a interesting showing.
I mean, in the panel verse, like everybody's on.
Oh, okay. Maybe
I
people have
can't
like
believe
three
Zat is
tabs
still
up.
going. He's like at almost 5 hours. Abe's streaming.
Yeah,
Looks like we got
congratulations
this.
on that, Spike.
See, this is you supporting a false narrative right here. You're not helping this guy because you're giving him the false. It's a false reward. You're giving him the reward of victory without a legitimate victory, and I think that's terrible to do to somebody. It's like participation trophy. Spike, Joe is not your friend. I know it seems like he's on your side, he's helping you out here, but I'm the one
I
truly
like Spike.
championing
I like
reality
Spike.
for you. He's the Monopoly championer, not champion.
That's right, Shameless. So, Spike, are you interested in playing Monopoly again?
Powers Monopoly. Do we need a Monopoly board? Somebody has to have a Monopoly board.
Whatever Monopoly is the one that Jeff thinks will be the best for the stream. Are you interested in playing that?
I think that one will because it will empower individual players, and I'm all about self empowerment.
Oh, look at speaking
That's
of
why it's
self
called
empowerment.
Powers Monopoly.
Speaking of self empowerment, Spike just said I was teasing. I have a
Right, like
tarnished
don't you
Monopoly
want the
crown.
real crown? Like why would you want to live with the tarnished crown and pass that off as a legitimate victory when you can have an actual victory and say, "Look, I didn't win just by some default technicality because we had to end the game." Like
Oh, I am late.
strive for better. That's what I'm
Ooh.
trying to. He's trying to keep you. Joe's trying to keep you at a mediocre level. He's supporting mediocrity.
I'm
I'm supporting
infantilizing him.
excellence
I'm like the mother from Rapunzel. I'm trying to keep him in the tower.
because he likes you.
Hmm.
Rock biter.
Yeah, Jordan Peterson could probably talk for 45 minutes about what type of archetype I am to Spike.
Mr. B, can we count on you next time?
Yeah, Mr. B should play. He should get on the panel,
I
speak, show
agree.
his face, and be like, "Look at this."
Well, you don't have to show your face, but um, you're definitely invited. You definitely have a spot at the table if you want it.
But I will say, Spike, if I had to testify in court to a certain finding of fact, you know what I would say.
Mr. B, fine.
He's too shy. That's his issue.
But Chuck, that's the thing, Chuck. You're doing it too. Spike didn't win. We're not sore losers because we didn't lose. You're feeding a false narrative. You're like these parents that tell their kid how wonderful and beautiful and you can sing and popular, and they're really not. They're not helping their kid by telling them all that shit because they're gonna when they get out in the real world, like when Spike's at the Monopoly conference with all the real Monopoly champions and he's there with his little cardboard crown. Y'all are not helping him. You're setting it's like Carrie. You're setting him up for a very very cruel disillusionment. Well, Spike, you would be the person I would go to play something. You're the DJ.
Oh yeah, Spike.
And
Is he like your
Spike, I
Jamie?
hope you play Powers Monopoly with us next time because I want to see you truly win. I want you to play, and I'm going to be actually rooting for you to get your real victory.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Jeff's on your side in the long run.
Yeah, I really am.
So is Spike like your
Can't
Jamie?
help it.
If you're Joe Rogan, is Spike your Jamie? Is that how this works?
I honestly don't know because I don't watch Joe Rogan. I don't know what a
Oh,
Jamie
okay.
is.
Jamie is the guy who
Is
always
that
smoke
his?
pot
What was the
for him.
black girl on Howard Stern? Is that what a Jamie is?
I I guess kinda. Yeah, maybe.
Like a co-hostess? Yeah,
Yeah.
Spike. He's kind of my co-hostess, I guess. Not really.
Well, he came in and he saved it so that we could have four people to even run it.
That's true. In that way, he was a champion. He was certainly a Monopoly champion there.
Oh, so interesting.
No, Spike, you're capable. I will not rest until you reach your full potential. I am not going to let you shortchange yourself like this.
Spike is like, No, Spike, play again. It's going to be for real this time. It'll be great. Okay,
Because
you
A, we're going
really,
to use a
you
real
deserve to
Monopoly
win for
game.
real. Okay, I want you to win for real.
No, I really, I want you to have the chance to win for real. Like I'm still gonna. You still have to beat me. I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna let you win. I'm not gonna play less so you can win. But you still have to beat. You still have to win. But I want you to have that feeling.
You know, Jeff, I think when you wear that shirt, which looks kind of like a fiery effect, it makes you more fiery. I
Oh,
think you
it's more
are.
like cheetah, a gay
I know it
cheetah,
look.
but I'll
I can tell that, but it
fiery
has sort
cheetah.
of a flame vibe to it as well. I think the orange stands out
Flame or
more.
flaming? What kind of flame?
Flaming
Yeah.
because it's active.
Well, enjoy it because you won't see it often.
Yeah, you often wear pretty, plain stuff like the plaid and stuff. Very very folksy. But this time you're like,
Yeah, the my grandma curtains, as Frank calls
yeah,
them.
exactly. Which is good for the peer counseling, but sometimes again you need to jazz it up.
Thank you. A straight
All right,
eye
who
for the
is
gay guy.
notifying me?
And I think the same thing about your army hat.
Oh yeah, I need to wash that. It's like been in that bag for a long time. It was all muggy. It just felt gross on my head. I had to take that
Oh,
off. Yeah,
yeah. Do you put it in the dishwasher? Or you?
I'll probably just throw it in. I also don't think I washed it very much because it was just a hat. but it probably just needs a good wash.
CCM. Oh, Kane. Okay. She can. Kane, you wanna? Are you in for Monopoly?
Yeah, get up here, girl.
Powers Monopoly. We need a Monopoly game though.
Hmm.
Like a real live Monopoly game, not a computer version.
We actually need a female player. We need a female presence to balance
Why
the
do we need a
vibe
female presence?
because it'll help
Uh,
the
it'll
perspective
sabotage
for the
Jeff.
audience.
That's what it's gonna do.
No, it won't. We know Connie would not sabotage you with her womanness,
I
okay?
don't
If
know.
anything, she'll sabotage me with her womanness. So
Females
there
are
we go.
always a risk because if you run a statistical analysis, the communication breakdown with females is astronomically higher than with males.
It's true. They're the chaos factor.
Yeah. And
Men are
I'm
the orderly
vulnerable to
factor.
that kind of chaos.
Exactly. Because one, you're gay, so you don't even benefit from it in that way, right? Two, you're a spurg, so like you've got your way that you see things, and then chaos throws in. It's like why you kicking dust up, right?
Yeah.
I've thought about that. Is like how I've some of the chaos is intentional in that like women like to, especially with men, they like to test men to see how they react.
Is that what was happening today? Because that was pure chaos to me. There was no sense. I could not string two words together to make any kind of sense.
Oh, you're talking about with the Liliana chick?
Yeah.
I don't know what that was. I suspect maybe she was streaming and she was trying to get something
Uh,
to happen on her side of it. Who knows?
well, that's a
Um,
pretty typical example of my experiences trying to decode women.
yeah, and like she said she wanted to like meet me or whatever, but she didn't really say anything to
She
me.
didn't.
So I was yeah.
Kane, is that deliberate? Like, do women know? Is that why so many of the trolls are women? Like the head trolls, not necessarily the little foot soldier trolls, but is do they know? Like, do women think consciously I'm gonna cause chaos, or do they just like intuitively do it and don't even mean to do it? How does that work?
I think it's the latter. I think they do it because it feels right to them, right? It's
Is
intuitive.
vibes?
So it's uh like my ex-girlfriend, there were things she would do to like try and provoke me to see how I would react or to get me to do something or like to show that I was feeling something and not just being this like robot of a person.
That feels manipulative. It doesn't feel like I'm in a partnership with them and we're making decisions together. It feels like
Well, so they were like little
I'm
things
like a third
mostly.
party figure that they're manipulating in some kind of agenda of their own.
Yeah, so like an example was like um we would be sitting together and she would be like sitting in my lap as we were watching something and then we're already like basically cuddled up together but she seemed to want a little something more out of it. So she would be like holding my hand and like playing with it, kind of going like this. But then she would go up and she would start to like kind of like pull on my fingernails a little like that, and
Pull
it's
on your
uncomfortable.
fingernail.
Like kind of like pluck on them, like almost like if she were like if she were really pulling hard, trying to rip them off, but just
That's
like very
weird. I've
lightly.
never had anybody pull on my fingernail.
Okay, it is weird, but that's why she did it because I'd be like, what are you doing, Brittany? And then like I pull my hands away and she'd keep doing it, and then I'd be like, okay. And then I would grab her arms and just restrain her and like hold her against me, right? And I later thought about it. Wait a minute.
None of that
She
sounds about right.
probably wanted me to overpower her and hold her closer so she could like feel my strength and it would feel more passionate or something, and it was exciting to her. That's probably why she did it. See, Chuck is immediately in like
Did you ever find out?
I did not find out because I broke up with her. I had to sort of think back on it, like I was remembering, like that was odd. Why did that happen? And uh, it was not enough that we were sitting there and I was already holding her. She, which is kind of a soft and gentle way of doing it. She wanted to like feel me get into it. It'd be interesting to see what Shameless has to say because I'm sure she has a theory.
So, like Shameless, you're saying they know what they're doing? Like they see some kind of power differential or information asymmetry that they're exploiting. They're aware of something about the men that they can manipulate that the men don't always realize they're doing. They're not one of my frustrations with women is they're not direct. Like I like people that can just hit the bullseye. And women go, oh, like they are just so resistant to just being direct about anything. At least um, the women on the panels and up here, not so much the women in Vegas and Louisiana. They're not coy like that. They're very like outspoken, vocal. They have no
Yeah.
problem expressing themselves.
But
If you ask
self-aware
them a
women,
question, you get a straight answer right away.
like Shameless and Kanye are pointing out, self-aware women don't tend to be bad in that way, and they use their femininity to provide, we'll say, delightful spontaneity to a situation.
I'd have
Because
to see an example of that delightful
guys will be
spontaneity.
like sitting at something, and they'll be like, "Okay, you roll. Okay, I'm gonna move this," and they'll be like, and then women will just sort of perk up the situation if they're, you know, pleasant ones. I'm saying something good about women,
I
chat.
know. I'm trying to think where these women are.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Kanye and Shameless would probably. I bet if we were at a board game like thing in person with Kanye and Shameless, we were at a table with them, they would be, spinning webs of positive femininity into the interactions.
Like,
Well,
what's an
Shameless, I think you
example
may
of
be
that?
right there. Uh, so a check, she was interested, but like you know how women's attention could be on multiple things at once. So she's watching the show, but she's also aware that like I'm not being as affectionate with her as she wants, beyond just the simple cuddling and having her close. So she was, I think, doing that too. Um, but yeah, Shameless, I think you may be right. I think there's a lot of deniability when people say they don't know things and they actually do. They just don't want to admit it. And you can sometimes see that in phrasing. Like, um, I don't know if I mentioned this in a previous stream, but like, there's that statement, "You made me uncomfortable," and the statement, "You made me uncomfortable," is really what you're really saying in most cases is, "I don't like this about you," but you're taking what is your problem and you are framing it such that you did something to me. You made me this way. What's the way that you made me uncomfortable? And I didn't ask for this. Right. And all you have to do, sometimes all you have to do to make someone uncomfortable is just be sitting there. If you're just sitting there like this, you can make someone uncomfortable doing that. Some people
No,
don't
I
like
don't
that.
think I don't think anybody makes anybody feel anything.
Okay, okay. So I'm saying some people will not like that. And so then they will
Well, that's
say,
their
that
problem.
makes
They
me
can
uncomfortable.
leave.
Exactly.
Because if
And so
they
that's
try
like
to externalize it onto me, they will get punched in the face. I swear to you, I will make you physically uncomfortable if you keep like trying to make me responsible for your feelings.
yeah, Chuck raises a good point.
Right. Yes. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Yes. And I find in general, women more than men tend to be at the mercy of these. They're subjective external factors. It's their own subjectivity, but they can't distinguish it from the external world, and so they always think something that's originating inside of them is happening outside of them and causing something to happen inside of them.
Yeah. And I think there are
They
ways.
seem to have low emotional intelligence, and which is odd because women are associated with emotion, so you think they would have higher emotional intelligence.
Yeah, but to what Chuck said, I think there are also contexts in which that can hurt women as well. So women who are in relationships with violent, abusive men, sometimes I've noticed that they look at things like after they got beaten, they will think to themselves, "Oh, it's my fault because I made him violent because I did not support him enough or something," right? This is like the victim mentality someone in an abusive relationship has. So it can go both ways where they blame themselves for things for which they should not be blamed, and then they will also blame others for things for which they should not be blamed
They have
because it's
very
the the
poor,
the, the made me mentality
like
or
very poor sense of where problems originate.
I agree with Kane. It's like rather often when people saying you make me uncomfortable, they're just saying they don't like you, but they don't want
They
the
don't want to
moral
own that.
condemnation. They don't want the moral condemnation that would come with saying I don't like you and I'm confronting you about it.
Yeah, so they try to set me up as a scapegoat for that anyway, and that's
Yeah.
even worse. Like if they think they're
Mhm.
doing something positive to lessen conflict, all that's going to do is inflame and increase conflict. Because you're trying to
Yeah.
make me pay the price for something you should be responsible for yourself. It's like offloading your shit onto me.
Yeah, Shameless is right. That's she's dead on the money there. When a man um
I don't care
pleases
if
a
I make
woman,
women comfortable. I will sit there and laugh at a woman crying over me.
I think she's talking about straight men. I think she's
Uh,
just sort of treating as a given that most men are straight.
should
So
I just take myself
yeah.
out of this conversation then? Because I don't know all this
Um
straight stuff. I think I'm just talking about. Again, maybe like maybe I'm the one being too abstract here.
well I think with Shameless, it's just that if she's talking about men want to do this as women, it's just sort of a given she's talking about straight men.
Oh, oh,
Because
okay.
that'd be most men. So like reasonable exceptions aside, like gay men and if people count trans men as men, them as well. Um and then of course
Because this
maybe
happens to me too, but because I'm not a straight man, I feel like I'm shut out of the dialogue, even though it's relevant to me. It's relevant to my experience too.
some of it could be because I think it's possible that some women want gay men to respond in ways that straight men do, but they don't, and that can be frustrating for them. That sure that happens sometimes.
Well, if they're like this, they just need to stay away from me because it never ends well for either one of us.
But yeah, like if when a man can finally please a woman, and he's like, yes. I mean, even I thought it. The very brief relationship I had when she was finally in a good mood and not, pissy about something, I'm like, oh, thank the Lord.
Oh, Mr. B? What are the other five elements? Can you list them out? I did a few streams on EQ. I did one a few weeks ago, I think. All right. Well, did we solve women?
Um, I don't know about solve, but we made
Trump's
progress
gonna
on women.
win. Women are confusing. What else did we? Um,
Well, there's no games. The people aren't in for games yet. Maybe that's
no,
not
they're
happening
not. I don't
tonight.
know. I don't know what they. I think there's other kind of games they're after.
Yeah. I got a text.
Fair,
Oh,
fair enough.
I got a
Not
text from that
lost.
chick. I met at the
Oh,
coffee shop.
from like a few
Uh,
weeks ago, the stock lady.
yeah, yeah. She and I, ever since the therapist recommended that, I think try to follow up with her in a productive way. She and I have been texting with some regularity, getting
Oh,
better acquainted.
okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So let's see.
Self awareness. Would that be like emotional awareness of the emotion? Empathy. What the self control? We're gonna have to talk about that. That I think that's a cultural bias. Social skills. What? But I don't. What do social skills have to do with emotional intelligence? I see social intelligence as something different because people could have one and not the other.
Not Laz. I can confirm that my ex girlfriend did not want to have sex. Um, that much was clear.
That's the first. Like that's the first wise, practical thing I think Not said.
Yeah, the sex conversation with her was going to probably come if we had gotten to the point we were talking about having kids. That's what I think what it was with her.
Oh,
I mean, it's possible that she's at a different place now because that was 4 years ago. So by all means, if you can find her.
Mr. B, did you get those from somewhere, or are those some that you just came up with? Because I agree with, but in fact, I had an AI conversation on emotional intelligence.
I had
So it
an
might
AI
have covered some of
conversation,
those.
but then someone told me to stop talking to myself.
I never pay attention to that. The only thing is self-control. I don't like emotional regulation. That's just not a thing in some cultures and with some neurotypes.
But what do you mean it's not a thing?
Emotional regulation, like restraining your emotion. Like
Oh, like your emotions just naturally occur. They're not like a thing
yes,
you
they
can
just
stop.
naturally occur. You don't have to do anything with them. And there's this belief that you need to teach kids when they're having an emotion to somehow moderate the level of it to make everybody else around them feel okay. I think that's a horrible message to the kid. You're fucking with their ability to become aware. You're fucking with their cognition, their ability to become aware of their emotion and synthesize it with their thinking.
One thing I think is interesting is that like there's a lot of this thing called emotional validation um, that people do, and I've never really
I don't think there
understood
is
why.
overthinking. I don't think you could ever think too much. Thinking's a wonderful thing, and we should do it as often as possible. I do it all day long, 24 hours a day. And I think emotions are the same way.
What do you think about like self-awareness of your emotions, which can then lead to a realization of this feeling I'm having is something of like an illusion. Like I'm only
I don't know, for me, I don't know how that awareness happens without fully being able to experience the emotion first. So if I have to pinch it off, I never get the full emotional awareness. So that's why I don't know where this idea that we should pinch our emotions off when they start. I don't know how that helps anybody. Like to me, that is stunting people. That would stunt somebody's emotional intelligence. It would not allow it to develop. Because to have the awareness, you have to know what you're being aware of, and you can't fully know what you're being aware of if you restrict it or curtail it when it
right.
begins.
And so what I was saying of, is like it's reactive, right? So rather than just trying to stop yourself from reacting or feeling anything, it's feeling it, thinking about it, noticing it, and then asking yourself questions like, why do I feel this way? Is there any reality to the feeling
Yeah,
here?
it's
Just
usually what I do because I know why I'm feeling that way. It's always the same reason. You trace it back to past experiences. You can trace it back all the way to child. So you take the emotion, and I have a strong affective memory, and I have the emotional flashbacks from the PTSD. So every time I have an emotion, it's like a composite emotion of all the situations in the past that I had that emotion to. So you just start tracing the emotion back to where did I have this emotion before? Oh yeah, at work. Where did I have this? Oh yeah, I remember that one day at school. Oh yeah, I remember when I was really young and my mom. Like you just start tracing it back, and you get like a picture, a historical picture of that emotion.
mhm. I need to listen to this Paris Hilton thing. I still have the tab. I'm going to mute myself for a moment while I listen to it.
All right. Um, is L? Is there only one L? Y'all talking about emotional intelligence and naivete. Are y'all that naive and emotionally dumb? You think there's have, I don't know. Maybe it just doesn't take me long because I can get a sense of a person, and I could, like Johnny Carson, I could write in a little envelope and seal the envelope and tell you what's most likely to result from interactions with this person, like the pattern that this person could play out. And I am right like 90 something percent of the time, every time. It doesn't take me, it's pattern recognition. And if you can't recognize the pattern by now with these people y'all are talking about, I don't know why it's so obvious to me. It's like neon signs from outer space. What's the line? I guess that's what I'm getting at. I don't have this line that everybody's seeing. Where does this line develop? Is it internalized from experiences with having emotion and having the people around you telling you don't do that, and then so you internalize some kind of line that you have to keep your emotions within? We honestly didn't have anything like that growing up. No, nobody. I can't remember a single adult, school teacher, parent, anybody. Like if we're having an emotion as a kid, telling us, "Oh, okay, that emotion has exceeded what's appropriate. Stop having it. Reduce it or restrain it." We laugh till we pee. We cry till we pee. We we get angry until it burns itself out. Like it. Emotions were bodily functions. They were like a sneeze, or like if somebody throws up. They were something from the body. Nobody was expected to have any control over something your body's doing. They were natural. Not unless I'm pretty used to not being listened to. And even when I'm listened to, I'm not always understood. So, yes, it's nice when people can listen and understand, but I don't know why that would throw me into chaos. Because it's kind of my norm. Like, there's only like a certain percentage of people I talk to actually are going to listen. I don't get that BS. Eight men in the box. Maybe it's a football joke. I don't know football. Oh my God! What? You change what you're doing just to make other people happy instead of yourself? Oh no, I don't have that psychology at all. If I'm doing something perfectly normal and it's not hurting anybody and it's making you uncomfortable, you have the problem, not me. I don't have to change anything. That's you trying to manipulate me into stopping what I'm doing because, like, using your discomfort. You're weaponizing discomfort. Like, people that do that. Peop- that game doesn't work on me. Oh my God. I hope people aren't doing this. Because that's one of my frustrations. I hate it when people hold back. I want the real person. And when they're holding back for on my account, it feels like I'm not getting
Sh-
it. They're depriving me of knowing the real person.
Shameless, I'd be curious to know why you think that is.
And it could be socialization. And women may be more vulnerable to that type of socialization because of the agreeableness.
Hmm. Well, yeah,
I
I would
scored a
learn an
12
account for
in
that.
politeness on my Big Five test out of 100. So I'm not I don't really care if I come across as polite or if I offend people or make them uncomfortable because I think adults take ownership of that and don't try to put it on other people. And I don't make other people responsible for my stuff either.
Notice what Shameless says here. She says, "I just don't want to cause people discomfort," which is similar to saying make them uncomfortable. Um, so to a point, she feels like that's her role in the situation.
Wow.
You know, and maybe there are situations in which it can be said that you in fact are the person that makes someone uncomfortable, depending on what you say or do. I, there's infinite possibilities, right? I think it is often an overused phrasing for people who simply don't like something.
Well, shameless. If you ever feel that way to me, if you and I are talking and you feel like you're making me uncomfortable, don't worry about it. If I get uncomfortable, that's me. It's not anything you're doing. You have the right to express yourself and communicate what you try to communicate, independent of my reaction to it. And so, if you sense that with me, please don't let it stop you from continuing to communicate whatever it is because I will take ownership of the discomfort. Like I don't ever think that you're the one making me uncomfortable. I always know it's my reaction to what you're saying based on my
Mhm.
past experiences, etc.
Yeah. One thing I've noticed about Jeff is that he'll um, um, often have an impassioned response that's essentially the devil's advocacy for individual responsibility. If I like can get down to the essence of it, he often is making a point that is anchored to that, and I think Jeff often cares
Internal
about
locus
that.
of control. That's like
Yeah,
my gospel. I've been preaching it for 5 years.
yeah, and I think if if we have paid attention to the clues over many conversations now, is you care a lot about that because so many things have gone wrong, not just in society, but in your own life because people have abdicated that.
Have advocated an
A-
internal
ab
abdicate.
abdicated.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes.
Shameless just wants people to be happy.
Is well, I I had a very different. Me and my mom fought nonstop. Like we would fight for hours and hours, and neither one of us backed down. We would argue for 8 hours a day, and we'd pick it up the next day, or we'd think of something an hour later and come back and restart it. And another thing. That was
Oh
normal.
man.
Like none of us held back. We went to the mat till we were exhausted. Like we just exhausted each other. So that was my communication norm and emotional norm. If somebody starts a conversation and emotions get involved, then you just play it out.
Wait, who was it that met your mom again and got took a picture?
Moose.
Moose, that was it. That's why
She.
he did it. He knew it was a flex. He's like,
Why he
I'm
did
on your
what?
mom's side from whatever you argued about last. That's what he was doing.
Wait, Moose was?
That's right. No, I'm just kidding, but
Oh.
it's funny to
No, it was
imagine that.
weird. She texted me, and it was a picture, and I pulled up the picture, and it's her and Moose like posing together, hanging out. I'm like, this is so weird. This is a person I see on YouTube every day. Like hanging out with my mom.
So, Jeff, what do you think the arguing? We might even say that with the pattern you described, it almost sounds like it could have been bickering. What do you think that um, how do you think that worked itself out in the long run? Like, did it make for like a healthy relationship between you and your mother? Was it something that just worked, or was there more to it?
I would not say we had the healthiest relationship
Okay,
growing up. In fact, I didn't talk to her for over a decade, and we just started
oh
talking
yeah,
like right before COVID. Um,
I
And
think I
I
remember
think we
that.
have a healthier relationship now, but I think that's because we're both different people and we both have like awareness that we didn't have. If I had the awareness now that I had as a kid, a lot of it would not happen either. So I think we've
Ah,
both matured as adults. But I don't know if it was I don't think we had a healthy relationship, but I don't know if I would say that's the part that was unhealthy.
yeah. I mean, I had a similar relationship with my mother. Well, I should say my mother had this a similar relationship with everybody in the house, where it's just everything's an argument all the time, and she would often like bring stuff back up or relitigate it,
Yeah, she
and
was antagonistic. She would pick
yeah,
fights. Like everything
yeah,
could be growing fine, and she'd find some little thing to
that,
start a fight about. And now that I think about it, that was the pattern with everybody. But my siblings and I, and the other adults, knew when to stop it. Like we'd fight a little bit, and then we'd end it. My mom was the person that would just keep it going, 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 and then I would keep it going back because like I wasn't gonna not keep it going if she was gonna keep it going. I didn't know that I could stop it either. But she was kind of unique. We all kind of had that open combative communication style when there was an issue. But my mom was the only one that was as persistent about it because most of us would like do it for a little while and then redirect to something else.
yeah, and like it's interesting because like I think of my father as this pretty calm, upbeat person, but like because of that tendency, my mother, like she's the only one that I could see turn him into a total asshole. Like he would just lose his cool because of the game she would play. Um, and I don't ever see him like that with other people. Like nobody else is able to provoke him, and he like wouldn't even think of it. But like somehow my mother wore his patience down.
Oh yeah, they know.
Yeah.
Yes, they learned the buttons and they now push them.
Like he could just never have peace. Like he comes from work, tough day. Like he worked at a hospital. It's just people with horrible injuries and stuff. It's not the most pleasant place to work some days. He comes home, wants to have some peace, and she just wants to go to total war over one little thing that's wrong. And he's just thinking, I went to work. I have a good job. The mortgage payments are on time. We can afford groceries. We've got power. Most everything is going right. Enjoy your fucking life for a change, right? And she wants to complain like something's crooked on the wall,
But
right?
is it stuff that built up all day long while he was gone, and now she's ready to lay it on him now that he's home?
Um, I think it was similar. I think to what you were saying, just finding something that's wrong, just finding something to be angry about. She could just not let herself be okay. Like something else is orderly, and now she's no longer looking at that, and she's looking at something else, and she finds the imperfection somewhere else, and it's just she's just going to spend her whole life finding problems at that point and never giving anybody peace. Um, Whereas he just wanted to take it easy.
Yeah.
He's like most things are going well. The minor flaws here and there are very tolerable because he grew up in poverty. Like things were hard for him. Um, and so his life had improved quite a bit, and so he could definitely see like how great things were, all things considered, and she could not see it that way.
Shameless. I kind of am getting a little glimmer maybe of what you're talking about because there's situations when I'm talking to someone or working with someone where I make the choice. I'm like, is it worth it? Is this worth it? Can I just yield here for the sake of the conversation moving? And a lot of times, especially if it's a client, the focus is on that person anyway. Like I'm not the
Mhm.
focus, so I can easily adjust and yield for them. But if it's in a more like equal, like a reciprocal relationship, um, there's been times when I've assessed like I have a valid point and I could push it, but it's just not worth it. And I'm willing to just let it go for the sake of the relationship. I've done things like that before, but it's a conscious decision. I'm like weighing the options and making a decision that it's just better if I just not push this one.
Right. Whereas if I come on here, you know that I know um, what it's like to come on here. So if you start being like, "But Joe, that shouldn't be the thing that guides X, Y, or Z," and you get a bit louder, that I'm not going to be like, Jeff, why are you talking like that?" Because I know that. Whereas with a client, it's a different relationship. Because like you said, this is a more egalitarian setting,
Yeah.
right?
And
It's not
actually
a
with peer support because it's also a there's no power difference. It's also a reciprocal mutual mode. But I mean, I guess I'm just in a different role with the client. It could go the other way where the client is also like I'm the one having the reaction. The client is deciding it's not worth pushing, but usually because of the role I'm in, it ends up me deferring to them.
yeah. Plus, I've also I think given a lot of signs that like I'm perfectly willing to like just accept like something like that and incorporate into how I work rather than cower away from it.
Well, you seem pretty good at rolling with emotion anyway.
Hmm.
Like some people are, some people are not. I guess.
Yeah. Well, and there's definitely been like at least a few moments now where some people who are connected to like some of the drama that will creep in here, I think have tried to sort of, um, we'll say, throw a line to see if I would grab it, and then they can pull me in with the current. And I have not taken it. Um,
I probably
so
take them and don't even realize I'm being
it
thrown
could
by.
be.
I just jump at them.
I think sometimes, yeah, they're seizing on your
Yeah,
ability to misstep sometimes.
I've had several people tell me that they believe that there's people on here kind of manipulating me in the channel.
Yeah. Shameless, I have a question. So, do you feel like just you as an individual, regardless of what phase of your life, in terms of personal development and self awareness and self control, that just an essential part of who you are and have always been is like this bias toward wanting people to feel good in a situation around you? And we'll see what she says. Ooh.
What was the question?
Basically, I was asking if like if she has like a bias toward wanting people to feel good in a situation around her,
At the
and if that's like
expense of her own expression, self-expression.
potentially, and if that's an essential part of who she is that transcends like her age, like when she was a girl to now, and how her the wisdom she's accrued, so she could be a wiser person and still feel that way. And maybe she's developed strategies to
I
account for it.
remember something on a stream. I think it was yesterday where she felt like shameless. What stream were you on? Where you felt like you had lost it, or had gone on, or like had crossed that line. I think it happened yesterday or day before. I forgot which stream, but she had something built up about somebody or something, and it just all came out, and then she kind of apologized for it, like, "Oh, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry." I'm thinking she didn't do anything wrong. Like, I'm glad she got that out. It obviously needed to come out.
So let me ask you this, Shameless. Let's say you said something in chat, and then I was like taken aback by it, and I lost my cool, and maybe I expressed that by just leaving the panel right away, abruptly. Is that something
Which
that
is
like
fine, normal here, by the way.
is normal? But I'm just asking Shameless, like, would that like be something that concerned you? I mean, you feel like you would want to amend?
Because people can manipulate that too.
Hmm.
Well, Kane, your your channel is the latest. They have their eye on your channel now because you haven't quite learned to manage the drama yet. So I expect. I watched some of it flood your channel, and expect more of it if
I
you
was on
don't.
his channel, um,
Yeah, because Kane is not the his channel doesn't deserve all that drama, and I don't want to see it negatively impact. He's just starting out and wanting to establish a good
yeah,
kind of
and
tone for himself.
I don't really, yeah, I didn't really know what his channel was like, but I got on there and I sort of just for the first chunk of time, I kind of just sat patiently there and like waited for the current topic to sort of reach a natural stopping point. And Kane was like, "Hey, Mr. Record, could you like talk about something?" Or like, it was like hoping I could say something, and then um when I got talking, it almost seemed like there was like this new tone in the conversation that got set where it was much milder and it wasn't people getting as animated and being like, blah, 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 blah. Maybe that's what Kane was seeking. I don't know.
You know what? See, if I do a non-drama tier with members only streams, they're going to be similar to this. What do you guys all think about what's going on here right now? The kind of conversation we have. I like it. I think we're getting to some good stuff that we wouldn't be able to with all the drama trolls around. So if you want more of this, I'm really looking at the possibility of offering members only streams where we can just do this kind of stuff without the drama. Because this feels like
Hmm.
a more of a member stream right now than an open panel, and I'm really liking it.
Okay, that's interesting, Shameless. So I'm curious. You said you have an extra soft spot for men. Um, is there a specific reason for that? You think? I mean, I can probably guess some, but why put words in your mouth? Why would a woman have a soft spot for men? Why would a man have a soft spot for women? Hmm. What could it be?
Here's Kane's channel. He's another panel channel, and I think he does good streams.
Well, some of the people on the panel were a bit, like
Yeah, that's because
Kane.
he's
Kane
new
was,
though. He's gonna get a better sense from who to managing a panel. The art is all in the art of who you let on your panel or not, and he's
yeah.
gonna get a better and in what combination. Because some people can be on panels as long as they're not with other people.
Well, I was
So
gonna
he's
say
gonna get
that,
a better
like
sense of who to let on and when.
he just seemed level headed the whole time. He didn't seem like easily um provoked or engaged in the wrong way by what was happening in front of him. And it wasn't even that bad, really.
But
It was
like
mostly
some
people
people would
being loud.
come on, and I'm like, oh no, he
Like
doesn't know
the
this
part I was
person.
in, it was that dude Rick. I think mostly just kind of being funny, and Shameless was there too. And um, wait, I think this was Kane's panel, if I'm remembering correctly. And so it was just a much more. It's not really dramatic. Like if it was dramatic, it was mild drama. I think it was just more a lot of adrenaline in the conversation, and so it could get off track a lot. Ah, yes.
That
A
is
drama part, if you
yes,
will.
the drama will. I've learned that
Like
that will bring the drama. So, shameless. I have been called socially illiterate, socially
I'm
retarded,
surprised to
and
see
I've been
that.
called socially gifted. I don't know what I am when it comes to that. People have I've
It's
been
her
told all
bias
different
towards
kind of
men.
things.
She has such a soft spot for men that she thinks you're this social wizard. And
I'm not. I You don't know how socially like
the
ret-
fact that
I,
you're wearing antlers makes you seem even more like a wizard than you are.
I bump into social walls all the time, like invisible social walls. I crash my face into them constantly with and just blood dripping down. I look like Carrie.
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
10, 20 times a day. That's how like there's no way you could feel socially this big social guru doing that all day long. There's no way. So there's
uh,
I'm always going to have imposter syndrome around that. I'm never going to be able to internalize this sense that I have any kind of social savvy because I know the disasters that I find myself in over and over and over. And I have no awareness on how to avoid it. I find myself in the middle of shit, and I know people that are not me can see the little warnings ahead of time and avoid it. And because I can't do that, I find myself in the middle. And I don't
mhm.
consider that high social intelligence at all.
Yeah. Oh, and I wanted to comment on Kane as he likes Rick. Actually came out of that liking Rick. Um, he is a bit of a character, and maybe ultimately that's what's appealing about him. But to someone just showing up, and I think you need to listen to Rick for about 10 or 15 minutes to sort of figure that out. Um, some of his hyperbole in the way he acts might not, you might not immediately pick up on that in like a first 60 seconds. So yeah, I came away out of it like not seeing anything problem with
Yeah,
him.
Kane, that is a sign. When you start having hate watchers, trolls, I'll tell you another milestone. When you have somebody come in with an account imitating you, like your name and a screen name, trying to troll you personally with the account dedicated to you.
Yeah, you have to pay attention to Rick long enough. Like
Rick was
he
like a little calmer Paul Unslaved. It seems like they have similar backgrounds and similar personality types. That kind of street prison politics honor culture.
yeah, I basically that's it. I That's a great way of describing Rick. Because at first I was like, what is his deal? Like he seemed to be like, as I listened, I'm like, okay, this guy's clearly working from some kind of framework, but like, what is it? Um,
Is this
and I think
positive
that,
gossip? What we're doing right now?
you know what? It might be. I think
I
we
think it
stumbled
is, and
into it.
positive drama because we're using it to
Oh,
learn.
we figured it out. All right, so
Yeah,
we
we're doing.
solved
Look, get positive
2024
drama right
election,
here. I can have
women,
an
and
entire
positive
tier
drama.
of positive drama. We'll keep out all the negative trolls, and we'll have streams like this where we can still do drama but in a positive way.
And for context, chat, Jeff and I were DMing earlier, and I suggested, or I opined about, is positive drama possible? So that's why he brought it up.
Well, Caldy, send me an invite. I'd be proud to be a part of that. That's what I want to do. I want to find people like Kane and Caldy that want to do these kind of community oriented panel channels and help grow the community. If we have a little network
Oh,
of cool channels that all kind of know how to keep the drama at a minimum, I think we can build a, a great community.
so Jeff, kind of a detour from the conversation we're having now, but it just popped in my head. I want to know your thoughts, and I'd like to know chat's thoughts as well. So a friend of mine, a straight friend, messaged me a bit earlier, yesterday, I think, and he asked, "Why is it that women can have a gay best friend, right? So a male homosexual as a best friend. Why is that a thing that happens? But it doesn't seem to be a thing where a straight dude will have a lesbian as a best friend." And I wanted to know what folks' um, general answers are to that. Obviously, we're talking about millions of people, and inevitably there are probably a few lesbians with straight male best friends here and there, but it does not nearly seem to be as much of a thing. And I think it almost seems as if most lesbians would be opposed to the idea, or would think it's not possible. So I just want to know what people thought about that.
Yeah,
Jeff, what?
that is a good question.
Maybe you want to form your thoughts a bit, but if you have
And
any
then like
initial,
straight men with gay pal, like a gay buddy, and then straight women with lesbian buddies. Are those potentially fruitful combinations as well? Get the chats, read on this, and I'm gonna go grab a refill, and I'll be right back.
cool. Not less doesn't operate on the level of seems to be interesting. Interesting, not less. That is informative. I'll remember that. If I could highlight it, I would, but Jeff is in control of this panel, not me. Um, Caldy. Um, you said you need to start streaming, Caldy. What kind of streaming do you do? All right, see you later, Kane. Because I also need to stream more, Caldy. That's the thing I thought about more. I need to leverage my time between writing articles to do other things. If nothing else, to keep myself busy, like entertained, but also to like experiment with other ways I can um, work myself as a stock analyst and investor. A music focus, okay. All right, let's see what folks are saying. So shameless, you said most lesbians you've met are fearful of men. They have somewhat of an inherent aggression towards them. Being around women, there is their safety zone. Kind of mentioned one of my closest friends since I was 12 as a lesbian. Um, so kind of has she provided any insights about men that maybe, or any has she made comments about men that you think will be insightful about why they're less likely to have straight male best friends? Oh, Plasma, hello. How long you been lurking? Like, what parts have you seen? Have you been like here since pretty much the start, or 10 minutes ago? I'm glad that when I'm in here, people seem to enjoy it, even though there's not drama. Um, not that I want to take all the credit here. It is Jeff's channel, but while I am here, I'm sure I'm having some influence, and I could be completely ruining it. And if I were, I'm pretty sure you guys would tell me. This guy sucks. Quit inviting him, Jeff. Don't let him in anymore. He's worse than Mike. You know.
Oh, hey, Plasma. Good to see you. So, what did you figure out about the lesbians?
I think maybe some people are preparing answers still. Shameless, if you scroll up, gave an answer which is similar to what I thought. Um, I
Take care,
actually,
Kane. Have a good
I
night.
actually wrote my message back to him, so I could actually read what I told him um, about like what all the different factors are that contribute to this observable difference. Akane, could you maybe infer likely things? Um, Zoltan's answer was, "Where the fuck is Zoltan?"
Look at it. Shameless.
Oh,
Do you have Apple TV? Because they said they supposedly there might be a copy of Kids on there. That's the movie I'm trying to find that seems to be scrubbed from the internet for good reason.
yeah, I can read you my answer that I wrote to my friends. So I broke it down into 4 points for him. I said, one, straight women like male company, and a gay friend is a man that they can, and I put it as always keep in their pocket without the man getting bitter. Which, if they do that with a straight guy, he would get bitter. Two, a gay man is also a safe friend. He won't try anything with her, and he's more physically imposing than a
They
female
still
friend
act like
against
you will,
aggressors.
or they do with
Um,
me. It doesn't stop them from that instinct of being scared of the creepy man.
so I think some still might, but it's just going to be less common. And so if we're talking about averages that we
It's not
notice,
though. Not with me.
well then it's because you got those cheekbones, Jeff. That's the problem.
What was the
Um,
third point?
um, well, I just want to make sure um, I don't think I got to read the whole second one, but
Oh.
it's not just safety in that he won't try anything with her, but he's more physically imposing than a female friend against aggressors. So sometimes, women like to keep company to keep them safe from other people. A gay man is a man who can more easily intimidate people.
I hope they're not counting on me for that.
I mean, I hope not too, but these are things I think that are somewhere just in the ether that can be counted, right? If he's like a 5'2" dude, it may not matter, but if it's like a 6'2" gay guy, like with a beard and big muscles,
So
like
it's not just like, oh, we like the same movies. There's like other factors going on in their mind as to why they're
yeah, I
friends.
suspect if we're like looking at the population-wide things and all the scenarios, these are things that can come up, if not always, enough to sort of influence what the observable average is. So third point, lesbians and straight women both have disgust toward your average man, except lesbians aren't even going to be attracted to the 8 to 10 range either. There's just nothing for them to like about a straight male friend in that way. And then four, lesbians get hit on by straight men, which annoys them. Gay men don't get hit on by straight women nearly as much, so they don't get annoyed. And I think four is kind of similar to what Shameless was saying, like annoyed is maybe me using more delicate language, but sometimes being hit on can be a scary experience depending on how they do it.
Why
So
is it a
what
big
do
deal to
people?
get hit on? Like, women, is that.
So some men, their idea of hitting on is in fact to be intimidating and aggressive. Right. So if you run into that once, it can just stick in your mind.
Is that a norm or an
Um,
anomaly?
well, it's just women with, I guess, depending on how attractive they are, but so women will get attention on men with some level of frequency. I don't know if it's, for some it could be almost every day, for some it could be every week, and for some it could be once a month. Whatever the frequency, even your less attractive women seem to get attention from men, approached by men with more regularity than just your average guy does, even an attractive guy does. And so,
Is
given
it like
enough
being a
time,
celebrity when you go out in public? You have to fight off all this
maybe,
potential
given
attention.
enough time, like from like 18 to 30, there's eventually going to be a moment, I think, where at least one of those times when a man approaches them is going to be a bad experience. Like he was scary, he was threatening, he seemed unstable,
That's still
and
subjective. That's not a bad
yeah,
experience. That's a mental reaction.
possibly, yeah. Again, I don't know, but
But
like
the
in
guy
some
didn't do it
cases,
until he takes an act. The guy's not doing anything to that woman. She's doing her womanly bullshit about creepy dude. Ooh, vibes, creepy vibe dude.
okay,
She has
well,
no interest in the reality of who that person is. It's all vibes.
let me see what kind of Shameless can make of it. Maybe they agree with you, Jeff. Um, I'd be interested because again I'm not a woman. I haven't been approached by men. I'm just kind of going off of what I have noticed women say, and like you said, Jeff, there's potential for
If a
exaggeration.
woman finds me creepy, I instantly hate her. I have this visceral loathing and hatred for her.
It makes you want to go out.
Yeah. In fact, there's an autistic guy on Survivor this season, and one of the girls described him as creepy, clingy. Like it's the guy you see on the dating sites that's creepy and clingy, needy guy, dating site guy or something. And I'm like, it's fucking autism. I couldn't stand
Yeah,
how
and
she
it's
was
like
reading this guy. She wasn't factoring in the autism. All she was seeing was the man approach, like how a man would approach a woman if it was a dating situation.
yeah, they just don't get it, and what they don't realize is like it's like we didn't want to strangle them in the woods until they accused us of being a strangler. Well, now I do want to strangle you.
Projective identification.
Exactly. Well, it's similar because it's like um with like politics. Like when I noticed like people would accuse someone of being a Trump supporter. I think there are some people who might be Trump supporters in 2024 that were accused of being Trump supporters in 2016 but weren't. And I just think it's like you back someone into a corner, they're not left with many natural allies except the people you accuse them of aligning with.
Yeah, that happened to me. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Shameless said most lesbians she's met has had childhood trauma with men, some with their own fathers. That's possible. Um, Let's see. But Shameless, what do you think
That's
about?
a talking point I hear in right wing circles about trying to trace homosexuality to negative childhood experiences, and that's been debunked even in the '80s when I was growing up. And to see it crop back up, it
You're
like
getting
people want an explanation for homosexuality other than it's a fucking natural part of being human.
you're getting the gay rights activist Jeff out. A very rare sighting, but he is in there.
I was an advocate, not an activist.
Okay, gay rights advocate.
Yes, the activists are what we have today, and I can't stand them either.
Um, wait, what was? Oh, so Shameless. I want to know, and Kane as well. What is your experience with um um men who have approached you throughout your life, from the moment you just started getting approached to uh, possibly the present day, and their ability to like, you know, not only not be charming about it, but actually scary. And to what extent is that something that has been in your head?
Have you ever
Or
been scared of a man?
me? Have I ever been scared of a
No,
man?
shameless. Or
Oh,
anybody in the chat, like the women.
yeah.
Y'all want to just come on panel and talk about this?
No, we're not Kane's channel, so Shameless won't come on here because Kane is cool and we're lame.
Oh,
We're doing positive drama, which is lame. I wouldn't mind going on that lawyer chick channel again. I get there at like the end of what she was doing before. I wonder what happened to her channel that she had to restart it.
I don't know, but I, here I'll
Hmm.
post her new channel. Here's Lawyer Chick's new channel. She had to give up her other channel, so she's trying to restart a new one. So
Lawyer chick,
if
five
you,
thousand.
she is partnered up with midlife bro logic, Barnabas. So you can find her on his channel a lot.
Don't tell me not to be jealous, Kane. Okay, I'll be as jealous as
I
I
had the
want.
same reaction. Don't tell people how to feel.
I'll be petty all night long. Okay.
But I understand how to read that, so I didn't take it as a command.
No, actually, Kane, I um actually liked that. Um um. Oh no, Shameless! Don't say that. So here he goes.
See, oh, is this her line? Like she feels like she's reached her line and she's pulling back.
Maybe she that's kind of alluding what she was saying before. Maybe she senses in the past she has created problems for you by being on the
She
panel, and
hasn't.
now she feels
Am I
bad because she's like, I
intimidating?
have.
What
I mean, you've
what
got
is what
antlers.
is the difference between my panel and Kane's? Like there's some little something you assessed or evaluated that got you on
Well, you're like,
Kane's that keeps you
you
off
got
of
those
this one.
strong cheekbones, and your neck muscles seem like they're pretty tense. You know, mine
And
don't.
she went on. She was in bed. She didn't even get out of bed. She didn't have her hair, makeup, any of that. And she went on that panel.
I know. She was all like, "Yo, I don't care how I look." That sounds bad, but in a good way, I swear. Yeah, but Kane, yeah, it was neat to see like, and Kana even came on. Um,
Yeah. Another one that
um,
goes on. See, that's where the women are. They don't come on this panel because they're all on Canes.
they go into chat here and they'll like talk and
Yeah,
stuff.
but they
They'll
don't
hang
come on
around.
panel.
They go on panel and they're just coming alive on Kane's. Maybe Kane is a ladies' man. Maybe that's the thing here, and maybe that's the thing I should be jealous about. It's not the cooler channel. It's the fact that he has a way with women and I don't, and I need to go to war with him and
Kane
become bitter
does.
about it. Yeah, I need to be angry at things going well for him and act like that somehow makes my life worse. That's a healthy mindset. I should view his success as my problem and just find a way to make things more equal by reducing us both. Okay? Nothing wrong with that. See, Shannon says she's had guys who have been obsessive, but I think that would be considered toxic and obsessive from anyone's point of view, reading from behaviors. Okay.
But I think so. Have you had anybody scare you, or just the obsessiveness was the only scary part.
Wait, you guys discussed whether or not you're a ladies' man, Kane? Is that what was discussed last time? Like, and a ladies' man for the reason being that you seem to get women appear in your panel? Now, I don't know how much longer my beard has to grow before I become a ladies' man. We'll see.
Well, you have the army hat too. You're gonna wash it.
Oh yeah,
That's gonna
I
accentuate
took
the
I took
beard.
a picture of myself um recently where I had like touched up my beard, and I took this where the fuck did I put it? Oh yeah, I took this little um this like runic pendant I have
Oh yeah.
that a friend got for me on a trip to Iceland.
What's the rune?
It's I forget what it's called, but it's like it makes like a it's like kind of their version of P. It makes a P sound, and apparently it means like the name of the letter is also like it means joy. Um, and yeah, he got it for me because my last name begins with a P. So um, he figured, oh, it looks cool. So it was nice to him. But I took a picture of myself wearing this with my beard touched up, standing outside
What do
with
you
these
mean touched up?
and then I sent it to my buddy and I said, um, like I have like my beard has reconnected me with my ancestors.
You're a Viking?
I mean, I have some Swedish ancestry, so
Oh,
that's the
oh,
joke.
I didn't know. What do you mean touched up your beard? Like physically or with Photoshop or something?
Oh, like I took my razor and just got like I
Oh,
smoothed it
okay,
out or whatever.
like trimmed and stuff.
Yeah.
Mr. B, I don't have they don't put DVD players in laptops anymore. That's the problem. I don't have a way to play my DVDs through my laptop. I need the digital version. I know how to stream on Discord. I do it all the time. I just don't know how to do it from a hard copy, a DVD. There's no way to hook a DVD up to my computer. I don't have a DVD with a USB player, a USB connection. It's the
Oh
kind you hook up
yeah.
to your TV. That's the only DVD player I have.
And can you even get laptops with DVD drives in them anymore?
Oh, wow. Well, okay, this certainly helps to clarify things.
Oh, okay, that does clarify things. So Shameless would know.
Is haram a good thing or a bad thing? Yeah, I'm not
Haram
paying
means
$50
bad.
just to play this one movie.
Haram means forbidden.
Oh,
Yeah. So like Boko Haram, you know that terrorist group in Nigeria. Boko is derived from the word book, but in their language, it they're using the word book to refer to Western education. So the name of the group literally means Western education is forbidden. So they are
ah.
defining themselves through their opposition to Western thoughts and ideas. Interestingly,
Hey, dudes.
Hey, what's up?
hey,
Not much. Just got tired of typing.
Oh yeah, I wish everybody else would too. Maybe we can wear their fingers out, incentivize them coming on panel. I'm not paying $18. I complain when I have to pay $3.99 to rent a movie on Amazon that I already own on DVD. There's no way I'm paying $18 to watch a movie that used to be free. So what you got going on?
Nothing much. Started my weekend, so drinking a few
Ah,
beers.
is this your Friday?
This is my Friday.
Nice. Friday night in the Panelverse.
oh, okay, and I see what you said now. Discuss jealous drama and trying to bring people down over it. Yeah, well, it's an interesting thing. Not to cut you off, Caldy. I just was
Oh no,
late
you're
to
fine.
responding to Kane. So, Caldy, you said you would mostly do music if you were to stream more often. Is that like what the main focus would be for you?
Yeah, that's what I that was my goal in life, was to do music, and that kind of got cut short by an accident, but still my passion.
Gotcha. Oh,
What
that's a shame. So
do you
like,
have
did you
like
like
a
injure your hand or something?
No, I got hit by a car.
Oh, okay.
oh
Yeah, got myself a nice healthy dose of PTSD.
were you a pedestrian?
Oh yeah, I took a forerunner to the chest. I should not be forming a sentence and talking to you guys like I'm a fucking miracle. Like, to be honest, but yeah. And then like after that, like I was misdiagnosed bipolar for a long time and put on mood stabilizers until eventually I got with a doctor that was like, no, you got PTSD. So
From the accident?
yeah,
What how old were you?
I was 23 at the time.
Oh wow, so this is young.
Yeah, it was half a life ago.
What is your avatar?
I actually don't know. It used to be me on the stage, and I don't know what that is. I don't know where that got changed from. I don't even know how to change that back.
Oh, I
Let's
see,
see,
Kane. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm
edit.
5'6", so that I thought about that too. I'm probably only likely to date a girl who's like on the short range herself.
Oh, this short. I know short people have a complex about being short, but I didn't know other people. Like it was issue for other people.
So I didn't think that my height would have ever really been a factor in my attractiveness, except for like the last 2 years when I've just seen a lot of people, women in particular, saying that height apparently is important to them, and in fact, it's not enough to be kind of tall. You have to be a lot taller than a lot of folks. So I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I did
Oh,
not experience like that like through high school or college. I never heard that, so it's
yeah.
kind
I
of new
never
to
even
me.
look at height. I don't even notice how tall or short somebody is.
I hear a lot of that on dating shows, but I don't see that out in the real world at all.
About not going for short guys.
Yeah, I see short dudes with
Yeah, that's my experience too.
hotties all the
Like
time.
of all the things that keep people from being together, height is rarely one of them. I see. Oh, is that? See, I don't know all this stuff. Tall women are higher status.
I think tall women are much more likely to like want a taller guy. Like they're much more likely to say, "Well, I can't date him because he's 5'10", so he's too short." You know, it's kind of like women who earn too much. Like if a woman earns 200K, a guy who earns 100K, which is still a lot of fucking money, is going to be not enough. That she's like pricing herself out, and so she's going to try and find a guy who makes more money. This is a thing that apparently happens a lot.
Yeah, it happened with my ex. He kept talking about how did he call it? Not power differential. The status. We were like different economic status or something. How much of a barrier it was going to be, and I'm like, it doesn't have to be. Like only if you make it one, and he could not make it one.
Hey, Miss Boo.
Short billionaires. I can see why dating is so confusing now. I'm
Yeah,
confused.
I can see how someone who has a lot of money makes up for it with height. I think height is attractive in the sense that women perceive it as a status marker. Like people who are taller tend to have more status.
Oh, I never did. I've dated plenty of short guys.
Well, I think status for a man is what's attractive to a woman. Whereas I don't think a man, when he's attracted to a woman, is nearly as concerned about her status.
Mm.
So it's like
Hey, Miss
like the
Boo.
difference between like you know a woman from the slums and you know princess in the like British royal family is not a huge thing for a man in terms of how attractive she is. But that is tremendous
Yeah.
for a woman in terms of
And
how
so women, like
attractive it is.
a higher status man, will actually be more physically attractive to them subjectively because of the status. Like the status
Yeah.
itself is a form of attraction.
Not laws. You say I think too much on it, and before you're complaining, I'm not abstract enough. Oh boy.
See, you let yourself get derailed by a troll.
I'm just having some fun with it. But yeah, I think men's attractiveness is more um based on perceptions about him, like that are less has to do with his physical body. I think the physical body is still important, but like for men, the physical um qualities of a woman are more primarily what makes a woman attractive to him, and social factors are more of a secondary consideration.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's at least what most guys have told me too. Women have
Well,
unconscious
not
powers.
laws.
There's
Why do we have
yeah,
to learn them when you're here to teach them to us? Just give us,
exactly.
don't make us work for it.
Yeah, even better, just hook us up with your single friends, or I guess me in particular. But Carl, do women like the music? Like when you start
Oh Jesus
serenading?
Christ, yeah. Oh God, yeah. If you can get on the stage, yeah. Back
I
in the
love
day,
it, chick.
yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome. It was a fun time.
All you got to do is like just play a simple like rhythm on the guitar or melody, and it just somehow it works.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like you got to have a little soul to it, but yeah.
Also, know
No,
when to like. Don't just be too robotic in doing what it is, but like put knowing when to time it and just move with the instrument, right?
yeah, yeah. There's some of that, and then there's the technical nerds that geek out on stuff. But I remember this one time we were playing. We opened up, or we had this band open up from us that came in from somewhere in Kentucky. And at the end of their set, right before we went on, they did two songs a cappella with 4-part harmony. And I remember one of my friends looking at me and just went, well, they just cock blocked the entire bar.
Hmm. Yeah, because if a guy goes into the bar like that, and does that, every woman now wants him, and no eyes are on no other men. And I don't think it's not as easy for women to do that with men. I don't think there's a thing where like it would take a very special woman to have all the male eyes on her, and then they can't look at any other women, even if they're perfectly fine.
Well, you're also a creep if you start edging up to the stage and wanting to take a gander
Hmm.
at her.
Yeah.
That's
Whereas
like
if women
I
go up to the stage, they're just groupies, right?
yeah, yeah, that's like Jeff. I don't know if you ever listened to a band Superchunk back in the '90s.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like, I love
okay,
Superchunk. I was
all
listening to
right,
them the other day.
yeah. I was like whenever they would play, it didn't matter where they played. Laura Balance always had the huge crowd on her side where she was playing bass. That's where all it was all guys right there. Maybe a couple of lesbian chicks, but it was all dudes right there just wanting to watch her play bass.
Oh wow, because that was they had a lot of female band play like Sonic. In fact, the Pixies had a female bass player. Sonic Youth had a female bass player. It was so normal to see females in bands in that time period,
Yeah,
and that's when the Riot Girls were starting.
shit.
Oh, so while you're chick, actually, I'll just message her. You guys keep talking.
I remember the riot chick movement actually made it into the what was the standardized testing or whatever. I remember when I was taking it, there was a riot girl section in the
Really?
yeah in the English part of it.
Wow, because that's one of the origins of third wave feminism that they mark, where I think things got so bad, and now they're teaching it like this is a thing to know about your history.
Yeah, and something they should teach about that is one of the chicks from that Bikini Kill
Kathleen
married.
Hanna.
Yeah, and she married uh, dude from Beastie Boys.
Oh, I didn't know that. Which one?
Yeah. Um, let me see.
Adam.
Adam was the guy that died.
I think didn't they both die?
There was Ad Rock, Mike D. Mike D is the one she married.
I had no idea.
Because I saw
That's
something in
weird
that
that a riot
where
girl would end up with obesity. But did he
she
go woke or did she leave? I doubt she left her third wave feminism, so he must have gone woke.
Oh, Mr. Beast still has his wrench. Did you intend for him to have it this long?
Is he doing anything with it?
No, but I remember you said 5 minutes, so it's just
Well, he was going to post a link. Oh, I'm sorry, I missed the link. Um, I'm thinking I almost might as well just let him keep it if he's going to
okay.
keep posting links. Let me see. Oh my
That's
God,
actually
Dinosaur
Mr.
weird.
B,
Jr.
if you found the movie, I'm going to watch it.
Dinosaur Jr. was
Um,
another great band.
what Dinosaur Jr.?
Yeah,
Oh my God, yes, that's we watched their documentary the other day. They put out a new documentary. I love Dinosaur Jr. Okay, Mr. B, this is a really good copy, but it has this little subscribe logo that keeps hovering that I don't know how to turn off. Um,
Blue is a good color.
oh, it looks like it goes away. Okay, well, we might have found kids, y'all.
Oh,
Looks like we'll get to have a movie night tonight.
wait. So if the mods are blue, does that mean the mods are a thin blue line?
Wait, I got to get rid of this logo. I wonder if there's a different copy. I hate watching movies with logos in the corner, but I found one that's a little less obnoxious. This might be as close as I'm gonna get. It is. It's the most disturbing movie I've ever seen. Like it's worse than any horror movie. It's about kids, teenage kids, living their life.
and there's no lead in. It's just immediate.
Yeah, and it's post Gen. This is like the generation growing up in the wake of our fucked up generation.
I think the only movie that is as disturbing as that one is, what is it, 13 or whatever, with
Was that the
Holly
one
Hunter.
about the film the micro? What is it?
It's
35 millimeter.
no. It's where these two girls are just getting screwed up, just nonstop.
American psychological crime thriller. What year was this?
I
2010.
think
I
it's
don't know if I've
13.
seen this one. Let's see. Oh, it's a remake of a French film from '05. Okay, I'll add this one to my list. Yeah, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's as messed up as kids easily.
Oh God. Okay. Well, I have to see it now.
I want to see kids now to see like what's so
Well, we're
crazy
watching it
about this
tonight.
one.
I've been trying to watch it for like half a week now. Thank you, Mr. B. You saved our Gen X Film Fest. I tried to watch Precious and I wanted to like it. Because you know me, I'm all into black people. Oh my God, it was so bad. The acting, the writing, I felt emotionally manipulated, like from the start. It was very like, what is it, ham-fisted, heavy-handed. Oh wow, Miss Boo. Well, thank you. Thank you for your service. Hopefully they didn't turn out like the kids in this movie. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like Gen X was the lost generation, and kids is like the like the post lost generation. They're even more lost than we were. All right, well, Mr. B, I think you should keep your wrench for that.
Cool. He's on the wrench bench.
Yeah, Just don't. But he's also a super subtle troll, so I don't want him. There's no telling what behind the scenes trolling he could do with it.
His trolling is like what? Like ways to sneak in kvetches about Floridian insurance?
Maybe. Well, I've taken a chance on worse. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what kind of demon troll he turns out to be.
There we go.
Well, what else, guys? Otherwise, I
Hmm.
might go start the movie.
I'll probably be going to bed, so I won't see it.
Yeah, I was just coming up here to kill a few.
Well, an accidental troll.
No, so your kid's the same age as mine. As me. I don't have any kids.
Miss Boo, are you Gen X too, or are you Boomer?
I think she said she was like in her 50s, so
Oh,
I'm
so
thinking that.
wow. Okay, yeah, Gen X. That's
Is that correct? I don't know.
what does that
Maybe I'm
mean?
not.
Caught a rocket booster. Is that a good thing?
Oh, it literally did. It's amazing. It's the most amazing space video since the moon
Oh
landing.
wow, I'm looking at the pictures now. Is there? Let's see. I wonder if it's copyrighted.
Oh, it's not.
Let's see. Space X. All right. Let's see. AP has it. That should be okay. Here, I'm gonna play the rocket booster. Hopefully, there's no copyright music.
3, 2, 1. We have liftoff.
Wow.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
Humans are so amazing.
After engines. Is one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen in my entire life.
Booster
Coming up
cut
on
off.
hot stage separation confirmed.
Booster coming in. See how fast this vehicle is moving on the left hand.
Wow.
Whoa.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, Elon is the goat.
Whoa.
At the launch tower. What an incredible view!
Yeah, look at the dudes going crazy.
I don't know about you, but we're losing our stuff up here.
She said we're losing our stuff. Wow.
And California is trying to ban him from launching rockets out there now.
Elon did fuck up. It wasn't his company, not Loss.
Well, then he and Elon have something in common.
He put the team together. Where's your rocket?
Yeah.
Yeah, clean up your rocket, bucko.
You were a teen so you were the teen kids that well, I was kind of a teen in the 80s too. I don't think we're that far apart actually. You yeah, we might have even gone to the same high school if we were all at one high school. You might
No,
be
your
a
father
Breakfast
was
Club
just a
kid.
Canadian who dispossessed the First Nations.
So who gets credit then, not Loss? Because if he hadn't done that, none of that would have happened. He was the efficient cause. Oh yeah, we're practically the same age. Look at that. Ah. Did it leave a void? Are you
Well,
giving
it
us
must
some?
have.
Oh,
It
take care,
must
Mr.
have.
B. Enjoy, Penguin. I'm gonna go watch
But the
kids.
nature of that void is the question.
Yeah, are you
A
giving
void
us
where?
hits into your psyche?
I don't know. I saw that rocket come back, and I just wanted to yell America.
Yeah.
That was just
It's
amazing.
interesting that SpaceX seems to, be getting milestones that NASA isn't anymore.
Well, aren't they having to send SpaceX to rescue those astronauts?
Yeah, Boeing and Boeing's having to is they just announced they're cutting, I think, like 17,000 jobs in the U.S. or something.
I wonder if there's going to be any protest here. I can go stream it.
Protests in Seattle?
Where I am, it's the Boeing plant.
Oh, over the job cuts?
September 24th, 30,000 factory workers walk off the job over wages.
Okay. So you mean strikes, right?
Empty 30,000 Boeing workers strike. That was in September, though.
This was something that I saw a couple of days ago where Boeing is having to cut jobs. And it wouldn't shock me if it wasn't DEI policies that have led to some of the cuts that are being made. Because
Ooh, how so?
they went ham on that, man.
Let's see. Oh, October 3rd, nearly 3 weeks into strike, resolve remains for Boeing workers.
Did I dream that? Sure
Boeing
did. I
strike
dreamed
has
it.
cost company workers $5 billion. Talks between Boeing and striking union break down. That was 4 days ago.
Yeah.
2 days ago, Boeing will lay off 10% of employees amid a factory workers strike.
Yeah, so they're laying off people. Their
I'm
new
gonna look at
jet,
Boeing's financials real quick.
their new jet is being pushed back another 2 years. But they're still getting government contracts. It doesn't make any sense.
Their revenue peaked in 2018. What's their cash flow situation like? Gosh, it's abysmal. It was awful in 2020. No surprise.
I remember in the 90s when Boeing was the company to work for. There were people from Louisiana moving to Washington State to take jobs with Boeing.
They got back billions in stock. In the 2010s. What was their share price then? Oh my God, buying back the stock at all-time highs, disgusting. They're probably getting a much better return on capital now, but do they have to issue more shares to get through all that?
And rockets, and SpaceX rockets, dude. Don't forget that, Gordon Zola.
Yeah, they did issue some more shares. Yeah, they were buying them back, and then COVID hit, and they started having to issue more. Awful, just terrible return on capital. That is bad capital management. I'm not happy about the buybacks either, not laws, but for completely different reasons. The reasons you don't want me to disapprove of it. Although they would probably be better buybacks now. Let me see how much debt they have. They have. Oh Jesus! They went. Oh my God! They leveraged the fuck out of their company, starting in 2020. They have been steadily paying it down, but looks like it went back up again over the last 2 quarters. And they don't need to be doing share
They
buybacks when they're.
assassinated whistleblowers, so now they're involved in assassination too. Okay, now Les, I take you seriously. Traveling Fools is doing trivia now live. If y'all are looking for another panel,
Oh,
to
Traveling Fools!
Y'all can check that out. I think the chat plays, like he puts the questions up in the chat, tries to answer. They look easy.
All right, let me take a look at that then. All right.
All right, well, gentlemen, I'm gonna pop off here, and I will catch y'all next time.
Caldy, it's good talking.
Good talking to y'all. Actually, Joe, next time I'm gonna. I don't want to do it tonight because I've had a few beers, but I've got some questions about stock stuff next time I talk to you.
Sure. Yeah.
Maybe you can give me the answers too that I'm not able to find online. But
Sure. Just are you on Discord?
yeah, I think
Okay. I'm in Jeff's server if you're there too. So
okay.
yeah, you could just message me, and then I've been looking for like more things to do, like casual streaming things. Not part of my main like coffee and stock series. So yeah, let me know, and then maybe some people in the chat can also learn some things
There's a
from it
channel
and
you
chime
make
in.
like for that too, right? In the Discord, there's a finance
Yeah.
investing
Yeah.
channel.
All right, yeah, that's where I'll post it. And what I'm basically looking at is like an explanation of stats, because
Okay.
some of the stuff just that like numbers a lot of times don't make sense to me anymore. So I'll look at something and I'll be like, well, that doesn't make any sense. How this is this and this is this, and the dividend saying it's paying that, but it doesn't pay that. It pays out something different. So that's
Okay.
yeah, just confusing shit that I need a little hand holding on.
All right, no problem. Yeah, let me know and post it there. We can talk about it in stream, or we can do
And let me
both.
drop
Even.
Joe's
Okay.
channel.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll jump off. I'll talk to you gentlemen later. Goodbye.
Okay.
Take care, Caldy. We'll see you later. Here's Joe's
Yeah.
channel. He talks about stocks.
Yeah. Subscribe there if you haven't already, and then when I do planned or improvised streams.
Not Lusk. This is Lucy and the football. What are you up to? Why?
Oh, you called him Jed. You called him Jed. You can't be mod now. You got the name wrong.
I think
There's no
he
Jed
wants
here.
to link. Just can you come backstage and put the link in the back? You don't have to come on the stream. Just click the link. It'll take you backstage, and there's a private chat. You could throw it in, and then I'll be able to grab it.
All right, cool.
He
I'm gonna
probably
head
wants
over
to
to the
send me
trivia.
an assassination article on how Boeing is assassinating whistleblowers.
Yeah, but yeah, good stream tonight, Jeff. So I'll catch you later, probably tomorrow. Okay.
Well, hopefully it was a good stream because I'm looking to do more of these and not the other kind.
Yeah.
So
It only would have been better if there was an actual game, but for a conversational one, I mean, we got positive drama.
I don't know
right?
why there wasn't a game, but
It's because
we
people
just-
are intimidated by games. They're like, "Oh, what if I lose? Ugh, I don't think my heart can take it."
There's so many other payoffs from gaming than winning and losing. That's only part of
But
the
winning does feel pretty good, doesn't it?
It does, and I'm very competitive. I like to win.
It's like I'm better than everybody. All right. Well, yeah. I'll see you later, Jeff. Yeah, good talk.
Okay. Take care, Joe. Thanks again. All right. Let's see what Not Laws is sending me. Oh, okay. So there's a whistleblower that died after a short illness, and then some other whistleblower died, and he's calling that assassinations. Okay. Well, you have a good night too, Not Laws, and I'll see you tomorrow too, I'm sure. All right. I'll probably go watch kids. Take care. Thank you, Mr. B. I'll be back whenever. All right. Take care, everybody. Thanks. I think it's a pretty good stream. There. All right.